should be live. Sort of. This is starting soon. Screen. Now we should be live.
Hello Internet. My name is Matt Pat. Welcome to Game Theory.
No, not allowed.
Too late. Already done.
Riley, get on Roll20.
Oh, I didn't know that we had Roll20. Okay, yeah.
What?
How would we be playing without Roll20?
Ooh. Other ways? I don't know. I don't know you guys. I mean, I know you guys, but I don't know. I don't know what you have planned. Jory, Jojo, the one with the bizarre adventure.
What I have planned is Roll20. Anyway.
Well.
So, I guess we should introduce ourselves for the sake of the internet and recordings. Not that I think anyone will ever watch this, but...
Well, we could be hopeful. I mean, to be fair, I even have regular Twitch viewers, so I think you guys will be fine.
Right. Well, anyway, this is, what are we gonna call it? It's under the virtual table for now, but we were gonna rename it something.
The divination.
I don't know.
Ah, the divination tower. Right. Anyway.
Yeah.
We're an actual play Dungeons and Dragons live stream show thing. Usually this will be recorded from Michael's perspective. He is Shadow on Roll20. But we are Riley, god damn it, you didn't mute yourself on Roll20.
Yeah, I know. I already did. I just did. I'm a fool. I'm a damned fool at that.
Alright. Okay, as I was saying, we are an actual play Dungeons and Dragons thing. We're going to be playing a modified version of Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, modified to my specs. We've all played it a couple times before. This is not my first time as a dungeon master. I have ran 2 campaigns before this. Or no, 3. None of which went well. But I believe I am now experienced enough to be a decent dungeon master. And everyone else here has played a decent amount, so we're not going to go over the rules or anything, except our little homebrew things. So, like, meets at half. Instead of doing meets it beats it for AC and DC, I generally do, well, specifically for armor class, I generally do if you meet the armor class, or if it is met, or if your armor class is met exactly, it deals half damage. What else? We don't really play with alignments much. I mean, they're there, because this is Dungeons and Dragons, but we don't really use them to the same extent that a lot of other campaigns do. Anything else you can think of off the top of your head that we've modified?
Not at the moment, but I also, woke up 20 minutes ago, so...
Valid. Alright. So, this campaign's going to be taking place in Everflow here, which is this city that I have this map of. It's in the northern edge of the Sword Coast. It is entirely homebrewed. I made up the whole city and all of the districts. I created this map using a generator and then filled in. I made all the districts and the keep and everything, and the surrounding landscape. It's in the north. It is backed on the northern edge by a glacier. This compass rose is slightly off. It should be tilted a little bit this way. This generally is more northward. This is more southward, but whatever. northern edge is the glacier. Leaning against the glacier are the stacks, which are piles of sort of low income households and shacks all stacked on top of each other and suspended in this big network of interconnected, like, stacks. I basically stole the stacks from Ready Player One and made them fantasy because Ready Player One is garbage. And then East Shore and West Shore are the two trading districts. There is a wall here along the sea, but then there are the docks on the outside of the wall here in the ocean. You can kind of see them. Uh, Invictus is the gambling and bars, sort of pleasure district side of town. Uh, it's got a lot of just sort of commercial areas that are touristy. Um, Hightower is a lot of churches and temples and chapels and things, and also some residential, but mostly churches. Uh, North Bank and South Bank are more like commercial, trading, and warehouse districts kinds of things. South Bank specifically has more banks and merchants and things. And then Gildern is mostly upper class residential areas, and the library, which we'll get to in a moment. Everflow Keep is, of course, the keep with the castle. The Nest is a low income area, sort of to the south. Um, in what few trees there are in this area, it's populated mostly by Aarakocra, Kenku, various other like tree dwelling races. I think Khajiit are also there, usually. The Burrows is a largely underground low income area, mostly residential, uh, with all of the races that like to live sort of underground, so goblins, kobolds, dwarves, etc. It's got a lot of tunnels and such. And then, as you can tell by these lovely little pictures that Jaden has drawn, there are 4 dragons that live in this city, usually in humanoid forms, but they do also have dens where they let themselves be in their true forms. A white dragon that lives up on the glacier. Her name is unpronounceable, and so she goes by Frosty, the white dragon. Uh, in Invictus is a copper dragon by the name of Calith, or no, Calith is not. Okay, by the name of Igneal. Uh, in Gildern, at the top of the library, which is a massive structure with thousands of books. It stretches into the sky, higher than any of the towers of Hightower, higher than Everflow Keep, and it is this big, ornate metal and glass structure with, like, it looks like a fancy ass wizard tower with lots of magic. It's like the main building of the entire city. Um, and at the top of it, uh, surrounded by windows and sunrooms, is the bronze dragon, Calith, who is gender neutral, they, them. By the way, hi. I should introduce myself. I am the dungeon master, Jory, or the grand author, whatever you want to call me. I am also agender, they, them pronouns. If you misgender me, you will instantly be banned. Um, Jaden, Riley, and Mike are the players. I believe they are all male. Am I correct?
One is
I am.
they them, but that is subject to change, and that would be me.
Ah, right. Riley is questioning, so they will also be referred to by they, them pronouns for now. Entirely valid. In South Bank is the red dragon Claragla. Claragra. Hold on. Claragra. I usually just refer to her as Clara. Yeah. She is a loan shark and gang leader. Frosty runs a monster hunting guild on the glacier. Igneal runs many nightclubs, casinos, and bars in Invictus, and he also spends most of his time in the College of Bards there. Kalith runs the Great Library. What
All
else?
right. I need a professional's opinion. Frosty the Snowman or Frosty the Dragon? Who wins in a fist fight?
That depends. In humanoid form, still Frosty, actually. She is a Goliath in humanoid form.
I mean, that's entirely fair. I don't know, man. I think you're underselling the pure power of Frosty the Snowman.
Hmm, debatable. Anyway, uh, so Everflow is sort of a legal gray area. It is nestled between mountain ranges, and it is a bit far from most of the kingdoms of the Sword Coast. So it doesn't really fall under any of their legal jurisdictions, and it doesn't have many of its own laws. So it's a bit Vegas up in here, as evidenced by the casino district. Uh, Normally that would devolve into a lot of chaos and bloodshed, but this town is unique in that it is all centered around a magical effect emanating from the Nihilist, uh, a mysterious being rumored to be a god that descended to the mortal realm after becoming fed up with the wars they constantly fought in. The Nihilist sits at the center of town, projecting a mile wide effect that is essentially the Calm Emotions spell, but much more powerful, uh, which basically makes all creatures within a mile of the square at the center of town where the Nihilist sits consider each other neutral, which makes combat impossible. Uh, it's a trade town with lots of. It is the last warm water port uh, in the north. Like it's the northernmost warm water port. So it's named for the river, which ever flows. It's a saltwater river, so it continues to pour into the sea, even in the dead of winter when everything else is frozen over. What else? What else? What else? Anything I'm missing?
Not to my
Not as far
knowledge.
as
Okay. So this campaign is going to center around adventurers guilds, specifically the rotation industry, which is an adventurers guild. It's a new adventurers guild set up that by the NPC Xavier Goldcliff, um, who is a high elf that hired our player characters, and our player characters are ostensibly going to be joining that adventurers guild. So the basic story is Xavier set up this adventurers guild. It's a bit of a gamble, uh, and then there's also Agra and Fergana, who are the two other members of the sort of managing staff. Agra is the accountant, Xavier is the guild master, and Fergana is just sort of there. She doesn't do anything. And they are all running this guild that the players are joining. Uh, Xavier acquired the location that is going to be the guild hall for cheap because it's haunted and abandoned. and no one wants to use it because exercising ghosts technically counts as combat and is thus considered, you know, not possible within Everflow. Uh, so no one's been able to get rid of the ghosts for the last about 150 years that they've been haunting this very old but still sturdy and well put together manor house in the stacks. That's why I keep hovering over it. It's up here in this sort of low income area, but it is a very nice house. It is just sort of tucked between. It was. They built a lot of shacks and things around it to the point where it's sort of entirely enveloped. You know, when you see like one really old house in the middle of a gentrified city and it's just surrounded by skyscrapers and stuff? It's like that, but wooden. Um, yeah, so the players met up with Xavier the other day uh, in a session 0 we did. They sort of introduced themselves to each other. We can go over that again in a moment, just to introduce the characters again and see if we have any more like character traits or anything. But we all met in the central square of the city surrounding the Nihilist. There was an incident involving the dragons. Basically, all 4 of the dragons in humanoid form met up in the square to argue. Uh, Kalith, the bronze dragon, accused Igneal, the copper dragon, of stealing an incredibly powerful magical artifact called the Linguist's Stone from Kalith's hoard. Uh, Igneal denied it, but Kalith does not believe them. Kalith has thus hired Frosty to hunt Igneal should he ever leave the edge of Everflow and thus be vulnerable to attack. And Clara was there to officiate. The players observed this but did not get involved in any way because, you know, it wasn't really their business. And then went to a inn in the area to stay the night, just sort of get a long rest, and now they are heading towards the manor house to begin the campaign. Yes, so here we go. This is the game. The 3 of you are following behind Xavier Goldcliff as he walks you along the path towards the manor house. You are currently heading through Invictus on your way to the edge of town. Do you want to sort of introduce yourselves again to the audience and maybe do a little bit of roleplay?
Okay. Well, for the audience's benefit, my character's name is Sandra. I didn't create a last name for her, so instead her last name is going to change. Right now I'm feeling the last name McClunky for absolutely no reason in particular.
You're terrible.
Yes, I am. Uh, and she is a tiefling paladin who is actually under the employment of simultaneously this guild and Frosty's Monster Guild.
No, we discussed this. Okay. So
Okay.
you were part of Frosty's Monster Hunter Guild. It's a modified version of the Bounty Hunter background. Um,
Mm.
but Frosty doesn't let her guild members work under her and adventurers guilds at the same time because it would be a conflict of interest. So you chose to go into adventurers guilds instead. So you have left the Monster Hunter Guild on good terms. On good terms. This happens a lot. They totally understand. And you would be welcome back if you ever chose to go back. But for now, you have left the Monster Hunter Guild to join an Adventurers Guild.
Yep. That's
You can
my
continue.
character. Yeah. I have Lay on Hands, Divine Sense, and Hellish Resistance
Yeah, we
because
know what
I don't know why I thought I say that.
those.
I did. All
Okay,
right. Moving on. Someone less embarrassing.
Mike, go.
Cool. So my character is Shadow, he will be referred to, but full name is like Shadows in the Wind. Um, Tabaxi Rogue, lived in the city his whole life. So, but like, let's see where I forgot. It's been a while since I looked at the sheet. Um, but yeah, parents disappeared when young. Oh, the usual rogue backstory. My parents are gone. But yeah, um, saw the Adventurers Guild as an opportunity to actually do more than just survive. And yeah.
Okay. And then lastly, for now, we have this character. Would you like to explain what you're doing here with this?
Name Zentel Crawford, allegedly. I have a mysterious past and came to Everflow for a business opportunity. I am a halfling. That is all I will say on the matter.
Uh, yes. So Zentil introduced himself to the party as a rogue, and which would make him the second rogue, which is very fun, and we will see how that works out. Uh, Meanwhile, Xavier Goldcliff is a cleric. He has worked in the various adventuring guilds, doing odd jobs, sort of freelance, for uh, about a decade now, to work up the coin to start this whole business. Uh, he won't tell you his age. He doesn't look a day over 200. He is a high elf, so he will live a very long time. Yes, he is a cleric of the pirate god One Eye Jack, and let's see, he. What else is there to say about him? So far, he has seemed very charismatic and interesting as a character. Uh, Agra, the accountant, has been a bit reluctant in all of this matter, but she seems willing to put her money where her mouth is at least and, you know, try this whole plan. Adventurers guilds are generally pretty risky. Uh, and as I said, Fergana is just sort of here. Alright. Let me get a sip of my coffee. So, the manor house that we're going towards. This is Xavier, by the way. The manor house that we're heading towards is it's in the northern edge of the stacks. It's sort of kind of near the glacier. It gets pretty cold in the winter. Luckily, we're in the middle of summer, so it should be nice and manageable for now. Uh,
Hmm.
and as I've mentioned, there are ghosts. Two of them. No
Yes.
one knows exactly the story there. They sort of scare off anyone that tries to enter the manor house. Many people have tried and failed to get them to leave peacefully. And exorcism isn't really an option. As I've said, there is one small corner of the property that is just outside the range of the nihilist where we could potentially banish them into the ether, although I'd rather avoid doing so, as that would be a bit cruel and messy. Generally, those sorts
Mhm.
of against their will exorcisms don't end very well with ghosts like these, especially ones that have persisted this long and have so much influence over the house. Um, since Sendra and I are the only casters in the party, and he sort of, I guess, he looks over his shoulder meaningfully at Zentil. Uh, since we are the only casters in the party, we will be doing most of the fighting if it does come down to a fight, as well as probably a lot of the just general dealing with magical BS that ghosts tend to throw at people. Uh, so, Shadow, Zentil, it is up to you to investigate, do all of the grunt work, probably. Although, well, you're the adventuring party, I'm the guild master. I'm here to keep you alive, heal you if necessary, but this is your quest. I'll let you handle it yourself, for the most part. Any questions?
I don't have any.
Not on my mind.
Yes. If any of us get hurt, how much paperwork is that going to be?
Well, that's not a character voice.
Oh, yes. Sorry. Yes. If any of us get hurt, how much paperwork would that be?
Well, you all signed the standard Adventurers Guild waivers and such. We have ample compensation, as I've mentioned, although it will come out of future paychecks in small installments. I
Hmm.
mean, that's the
I
life.
don't
Mm.
accept it, but I accept it.
That's the life of an
Uh,
adventurer. Not that you should be in any physical danger. The ghosts have so far used entirely psychological tactics to scare off the intruders. It may get a little confusing in there. Well, you'll see what I mean.
Hallucinations and such. I get it.
Yes. Alright, well, I guess that's not a big talking party, huh? I guess
Yeah.
that's all the conversation we'll get until we get
I,
into
it
the
just
building.
woke up. I'm sorry. I would be more converse, or not verbose rather, if I hadn't woken up so recently.
Alright, well, better start talking once we get into the game. So, the manor house, as I said, is sort of you have to take this winding old road from the main road in the stacks out into where there's this cluster of shacks and sort of small cobbled together buildings, many suspended high in the air. You can't actually see the manor house until you're very close to it. It's down sort of an alleyway. It's a bit out of the way, but it's still a decent enough location. It's fairly close to the main road. Um, the little alley that it's on seems very worn. The cobblestones are smoothed down. They have lots of tread marks, and there's a noticeable like path that's been worn into it by carriages and footprints. Uh, the manor house itself is sort of decrepit after over a century of mostly disuse. Uh, it has a very short flagstone wall surrounding it. It had what was once a garden in the back, but now looks more like an overgrown patch of weeds, and some shrubbery and trees that have gotten kind of out of control. Uh, Although it's a rather large thicket, uh, there is no way over the flagstone wall in the back other than literally just climbing over it, which is unadvisable since it is topped with some rusty iron, like keep out spikes. I don't know, anti homelessness spikes, basically. Uh, the fantasy equivalent to barbed wire fence. The front has a sort of uh, rugged gate. It was once a very intricate, like patterned, iron hewn fence, sort of swing open gate. You know what I mean? The kind you see on in the front of many like manor houses and rich people mansions and things. Now it's a bit like it it hangs off the hinges at a bit of an a bit of an angle, but it's still fairly nice. Clearly, a lot of work was put into it. It's not like tarnished or anything. Uh, oh, hold on. My cat is eating my shoelaces. Zora. Zora. Hey. No. No. Actually, those are my work shoes. Sorry. Where was I?
Big gate.
Yes. So beyond the gates is a short, also flagstone path, mostly overgrown by sod and weeds, surrounded by these dried out, sort of mossy fountains that have various plants growing out of them. They were at one point probably very opulent and pretty. Now they're kind of just ponds. Um, Now, the manor house itself is fairly large. It looks like it could easily have been the place where the like mayor of the city, when it was first being built, might have stayed. Perhaps it's very like fancy. Uh, some of the like shingles are kind of uh, sorry, hold on. Some of the shingles are kind of tilted, misplaced, falling off a little bit, though that could easily be fixed. The windows are completely covered in dust and tarnish. You can't even see in if there is any sort of glow or anything there, but that's to be expected after so long of disuse. Uh, there's a little bit of like rain and water damage to all of the wooden sidings, but again, that could be easily sanded off. Like, most of the damage to the building is very surface level. From what you can see, it looks extremely serviceable. Uh, like, it just needs a nice paint job and a little bit of, like, elbow grease, and then it'll be back in working order pretty well. Uh, it's got these big double doors that look like they're entirely, like, one huge piece of oak or some other kind of hardwood. Hard to tell exactly what kind. Um, there's this space for a family crest over it that you could put the guild logo on. Like, it looks like the perfect place. It's just, haunted
Mhm.
and abandoned.
Wow, this place is a
Hmm.
dump.
At least
Well,
like
it
home.
was quite cheap. I only got it for a few hundred gold. I mean, that's better than most places in Everflow. It's better than
Well,
most
Looks like
places
home
in the
to me.
stacks.
let's not judge this book by its cover. It's also haunted, so that's gotta raise the value, right?
You're right, you're right. I should look inside the thing before I call it a dump.
Well, I have not
Jaden,
actually been inside myself yet. From what I have heard, there are two ghosts, one generally female presenting, one male presenting. They seem to occupy the opposite wings. Uh, so the main hall itself is the least affected by their everything, but the east hall and the west hall, the closer you get to the edges, the more things get kind of distorted, from what I've heard.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
how would you like to proceed? I have the keys right here, he says, and he pulls out a ring of what look to be old iron keys, about 9 of them, all on one big ring. Uh, and he brings up one with a carved sort of swirling design on it, and he inserts it into the lock on the gate, and it swings open. It wasn't even locked.
Oh,
The hinges creak very loudly. They are obviously extremely rusty.
We could have gotten robbed, you know, if it wasn't haunted. Why didn't they lock it?
I mean, there's not even anything in there yet. Well,
But
actually,
we could
there
have
is quite a bit of furniture, but it's not ours. It's. No one really wants to go in, I suppose.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I will admit it is concerning, though.
Yes. Well, if we have to fight bandits, then that's going to be. I'm demanding a bonus if we have to fight bandits. That's all I request.
Well, it wouldn't
why
exactly
don't
be
we
fighting them.
why don't we invite the bandits to our guild?
The bandits are trying to steal from us. Why would we want them hanging out with us all the time?
Because it'll make you
Don't
angry.
even know if there are bandits yet, and you're already getting in an argument.
I'm not arguing. I'm stating fact.
We're just we're having a civilized discussion about these hypothetical bandits.
All right.
Do we have
Well,
information on who may have died here?
uh, well, no. It was quite a long time ago, back when the city was first being built. All of the
So it
paperwork is
probably
sort of
wouldn't be.
gone.
Yeah, so can't really go to the library and find that sort of thing out.
No, they don't really have. Well, they do have records on most of the citizenry these days, but they only got established
Yeah.
a decade or so after the city was finished, so.
Hmm.
I mean, there's a reason it was so cheap. You knew this up front. What do you want
We
from me?
knew.
Your soul.
Well, unfortunately, that's already pledged to One Eye Jack, so.
No. What we want from you is a promise that there aren't going to be any bandits in that house.
What's with you and bandits?
This
don't
does seem
like
to
them,
be a bit of
okay?
a fixation with you.
Hey,
Maybe
Sendra, want to
I'm a
see a
bandit.
magic trick? Sendra, want to see a magic trick?
No, I don't. I just
Well,
want
I'm gonna
those
show you one
bandits
anyway.
gone.
It'll take your mind off the bandits.
I'm good.
How about you, Shadow? Want to see a magic trick?
I'd quite like to see a magic trick, actually.
Okay. I cast prestidigitation one time to make sparks go up in the air, and then I cast it a second time to soil Sendra's pants.
My character looks at Sandra and goes, "That's disgusting."
Ah, I
Ugh.
see. Clever
Mm.
party trick. Yeah, I can do that too, Xavier says, and he snaps his fingers, and Sandra is cleaned.
You know, I was trying to target Riley's character, but I got the names mixed up. I should write them down.
Yes. So
No, you did. Sandra's Riley's character.
Oh,
Xavier is,
I did. I forgot. I forgot that Sendro was my character's name. I'm a disaster.
Anyway.
Uh,
Do you want to approach the manor house? Ooh, spooky.
Spooky. I mean, there's nowhere to really go research anything. So I guess we might as well enter.
Okay. You push open the door to the manor house, and it too is unlocked, although it does have a bit of resistance to it. A cold breeze floats out from within. The smell of dust and mildew is heavy in the air.
Hmm.
looks like I was right. It is a dump.
You're a dump.
I mean, obviously it needs to be cleaned. It's been abandoned for 100 years.
it's no excuse for a dirty house.
It's absolutely an excuse for whatever.
Should have been here. The guy should have been keeping it clean.
Slightly reconsidering some of my decisions now.
Who's gonna go in first?
I'll go in first.
That was not in character, but okay. Uh, all right. So Zentil walks forward into the through the doorway, and as you pass between the double doors, you become surprisingly warm. You look around, and actually, this place. I mean, it's not great, but it's not that much of a dump either. It's sort of not clean. There's a layer of dust over everything, but other than the initial breeze, it seems sort of calm and fairly inviting. There's decent like wallpaper. It's this dark sort of uh, ochreish color. It's maybe not the greatest choice, but it's pleasant enough. There's a lot of empty braziers around that look like they would hold torches, which have been gone for a long time, but you can sort of imagine in your head what it would look like if they were all lit up, and it's decent. It's a fairly large great hall. There's two doorways off to the west and two doorways off to the east. The northern edge goes nearly all the way to the back of the building. Uh, there's a long table down the middle with most of the chairs have fallen over, but they're still largely intact. Maybe one or two are broken, but most of them are fine. They look they're sort of like logs with just backs on them. Not the best construction, but serviceable. Uh, there's no like placement of there's nothing on the main table. It's just empty. But it does seem largely intact, not like broken or destroyed or anything. The only thing is there is the remains of a chandelier in the middle of the room. It looks
Well,
like
that's
the
not
iron
good.
chain that held it up has rusted away. Uh, and under it is a pile of humanoid bones.
Oh, found the remains.
That's the ghost.
That was surprisingly
Voice
easily.
from Frieza from Dragon Ball Z Abridged. God damn it. So I take it that's the ghost.
I mean, maybe? I don't know.
Well, now we have a set of bones to play with.
We also have a
That
we
does
also
not
have a
concern me
chandelier.
at all.
I'd ask
We
if
also have
anyone
a
knows
chandelier.
Speak with Dead, but, well, one caster. And also, they have clearly been dead longer than a few days. Any ideas?
Does anybody have any pans?
Does anyone have a shovel?
I believe there's one out back in the tool shed.
I'll go get the shovel.
Alright, so Zentil's
And
gonna go towards the. As I said, it doesn't go. The Great Hall doesn't go all the way towards the back of the building. There is a doorway before the actual exit. Are you gonna go through it?
Sure.
Okay, this doorway also is not locked. It opens into a kitchen area. There seems to be, eh, you know, rotting food, mostly dust. Nothing like actively rotting. Just it, it's been here 100 years untouched. It's gone. Um,
Huh.
there's a big cast iron stove that looks like pretty fancy. Like this is a decent, like expensive piece of cookware. It's got a lot of pots and pans on it, like a big teapot looking kind of thing, a giant kettle that looks like it could brew for a large party. Whoever ran this place probably had like a lot of functions, judging by all of the cookware. Um, the cast iron stuff is all still there and mostly free of rust and looks largely intact. There does look to be a cabinet that was at one point full of pewter cookware and like plates and things and ceramics and stuff. The shelves of it at some point gave way, and all of that is now shattered on the floor. But the like cookware itself is fine. It's just like that you'll have to get new plates and things.
Could I like look up how if there's any like signs of vermin or anything?
Yes, so that would be a probably investigation check.
Okay.
Okay, so with a 9, it it seems like there's not anything fresh. There's a few like markings around where there's a doorway that clearly goes to a pantry. There's a doorway that goes to the basement, and there's a doorway that goes to the back, like the back door. Um, real quick. There's a few markings around the pantry like doorway that look like they might be mice, but they're also like very old, covered in dust. They're very worn out. There doesn't look to be any evidence of recent infestation, uh, so probably fine. No termites or anything.
Hmm. All right.
Hmm.
my Mike, I have an
So
idea. My
So the
character.
door to the backyard, the what was once the garden, is has a heavy looking iron bolt on it, uh, like like a bolt lock. It could
Hmm.
easily be slid out of place. And the doorway to the basement is this even heavier looking oak door with 3 different locks on it. One is just a bolt, one is a chain, and the other is a padlock that requires a key. Probably one of the ones that Xavier has.
Do doors count as living things?
No.
Okay.
So
Why?
I'd like to cast Prestidigitation to soil the lock.
I mean,
What?
it's already pretty
I guess.
soiled. It's kind of full of dust. You'd have to clean it out before you stuck anything in it.
Oh, well then I clean it.
Okay. Uh, it is now sparkling and as clean as the day it was forged. Actually, now that the dust and grime is kind of off of it, you can see there is a label on it. It's
Oh.
this big iron padlock, and it has uh, this logo of a company, not a logo. What's like the seal brand of
Yeah.
the people that probably made it, or and it is just a general like Ironworks logo. The name isn't important, but yeah. Master Lock for the sake of having something to call it.
Mm. That is quite the master lock.
Oh. Okay. Whoops.
Fantasy Master
I
Lock.
accidentally closed out the world.
Yeah. How do you?
I'm a fool.
Okay, whatever. I mean, I Shadow
Oh.
undoes the
Xavier.
Oh,
other locks.
Shadow's not in this room. Zentil went alone.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sentinel went alone.
So you're gonna call for Xavier?
Yeah.
All right. Is the rest of the party gonna just follow Xavier into the other room now?
I mean, yeah.
Actually, I was going to go to the kitchen, grab some pots and pans, and then go upstairs.
There actually aren't any stairs in the Great Hall.
Oh, okay.
So you
Hmm.
wouldn't know how to get to the second floor. This building does have a second floor though, for sure.
Hmm. Then I asked Xavier, "Hey, how do I get upstairs?"
Well, I don't know much about the building, but I would have to assume that the stairway would be close to the Great Hall. Probably only a few rooms over at most.
I'm
I
gonna
don't
go
know.
looking through the pans. I'm just gonna go looking around for the way upstairs with my pots and pans. And if I see anything spooky, I'm just gonna start banging them, just start rattling them together.
Okay. So you are immediately splitting the party.
Hmm.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Sandra wanders off, and we will interact with that in a moment. For now, Xavier sort of looks at this padlock and then back to his keys and says, hmm, and sort of shuffles through them and then goes, these aren't for this lock, it looks like.
Oh, that's just
Hmm.
great. Do you mind if I break them with my dagger?
I got this. I got this. And
All right.
first of all, does the first two that don't require an actual key. And then, let's see. I'm guessing it's no, sleight of hand actually for that, right? No, I'm gonna pick
By
the
the way,
lock.
Jaden, what did you click that it made that weird
I was
roll?
making a module for one of my. Didn't put the name in.
He's summoning his patron.
No. Okay. So you're gonna try and pick the lock?
Yeah. So
Alright.
then, sleight of hand plus proficiency then? Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Because thieves' tools. So, oh, yeah, that's a 28 then.
Oh, okay. Well, uh, it's a fairly simple lock.
Yeah.
It's kind of heavy. You're a little bit worried that your
Mm.
tools might not be strong enough for a moment, but you manage to open up the tumblers with pretty easily. I mean, they're not the most complicated in the world. But the front plate of this padlock does open, but the actual pad itself doesn't unlock. Instead, it opens to a small, like the padlock is hollow once you open this face, and there's a piece of paper or parchment maybe that looks very old rolled up in this padlock, and then there is a lever that looks like it'll open the padlock itself.
That's weird design.
That is. That carefully pull the lever.
All right, it's just a little like switch lever kind of
Okay.
mechanism thing. Yep, padlock pops open. You can now enter the basement if you so choose.
Shall we?
While you are considering that, Sandra, are you going to enter the northeast, the southeast, the northwest, or the southwest door from the Great Hall?
I'm feeling northwest.
Sorry, what was that?
I'm feeling northwest right now.
All right, northwest. Uh, okay, so the northwest opens into a hallway, a long, narrow hallway. It is very dark down here. Do you have dark vision? You don't, right?
Do tieflings have dark vision? I
I don't.
don't. Yes, I do. I do have dark.
Oh, okay. So you can see that there's a lot of dust in the air, kind of just floating around. But and there is a layer of dust on the ground that you're sort of walking through. A thin layer, but a layer nonetheless. There's some nice like moldings along the wall. And the patterns of the wallpaper actually make it kind of hard to tell just how far down the hallway you're looking. It's all these like lines that sort of vary in width and distance from each other. It's a very confusing pattern, actually. It looks hand painted. There's a door some distance down the hallway, but you can't actually tell how far down it is. It looks like it opens to the south, though. And then clearly the hallway goes further.
Well, I'm just gonna keep going into the hallway. Nothing too spooky's happened yet.
All right. Can you roll me a wisdom check? Not a save, just a check.
Okay. Where is my wisdom? I'm not very wise, I suppose. Did I roll?
All right.
Oh,
Why did you roll twice?
because it didn't register the first roll
Well,
until after I
okay,
rolled it.
that happens.
So twice.
So 16 we're gonna go with. Yes, these walls are definitely hand painted, as is nearly everything down this hallway. There are portraits at various distances, and you don't pay them much attention, but they seem a little bit off. The proportions are just a little bit not quite right. They seem a little amateurish. Some eyes are a little too big, or some chins are at a slightly strange angle. Some necks are too thin. Most of the necks are a little too thin, though that's a common mistake. And the moldings actually have this little pattern on them you notice as you continue walking down that is painted into them. It's just a fancy little pattern. It's nothing significant. And as you keep walking, you realize you've gone about 20 feet, and then you're just sort of at the door. You didn't really notice how close to the door you were until you were at it, which is a little bit off-putting, a bit disorienting, but not particularly concerning.
Alright. I am going to open up the door with the I'm gonna open up the door. Like it's gonna be kind of awkward because I'm keeping a pot in one hand and the pan in the other. So like I have to open. I'm opening the door with 3 fingers while I hold the pot with my thumb and my pointer finger.
All right. Weirdly specific, but okay. Yeah, you do that. It's just sort of a brass doorknob. Most of the doorknobs in the city are brass because it's a good material to make them out of. Um, this room. Okay, so this room is. You are on the edge of it. This door opens towards a wall, or not towards a wall, but like next to a wall. Uh, it's about 20 feet by 30 feet. Uh, on the um, yeah, on the west. Yes, the west side of the room is a door that probably leads back to the Great Hall. It appears to be sort of a studio, like a painting studio. There are several in progress paintings, landscapes, portraits, all sorts of things around. Um, or wait, no, hold on. No, that's wrong. Sorry, no, this is a gallery. Several finished paintings are hanging on walls and racks, and there is one in the center of the room on an easel, it looks like, that is covered by a cloth, but the rest are clearly visible. Just sort of standard portraits of old looking people, a little bit of tarnish on the paint, but nothing ridiculous. They're fairly well preserved for how old they are. There's dust over them, so they're a little hard to see, but eh, decent.
Hmm. I progress ever so vigilant.
Down the hallway or further into the gallery?
Oh, further into the gallery.
Okay. Um, so the gallery seems to be split into a few different like kinds of paintings. There's landscapes towards the northern wall. There's more portraits towards the southern. Uh, there are a lot of people that look very similar, have kind of similar facial features clustered together, probably families, you think, as you sort of glance over them. Um, most of the landscapes are just sort of areas that you actually recognize as different like places around Everflow and the glacier, but with significantly less buildings than there are there now. So these must have been painted a long time ago. There's a few actually of the walls being put up, like the construction of the walls that surround the city.
All right, this is pretty neat. I like this painting. I like this room. I think I'll make it my room.
Okay,
I go back and then I progress down the hall.
all right. Uh, roll me another wisdom check. I'll use that 15. Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
okay.
well,
Well, never mind. I'll use that 6 actually because I feel like being a bastard today. So, uh you take a step down the hall and there is a door on your left.
makes sense. I open the door on my left with doing the three fingers thing I did earlier.
Mhm. It's a stairwell.
Up or down?
Looks like it goes up. There's sort of a carpet over it. It looks a little bit dusty, but yeah, it's a stairwell going up. Just a straight stairwell.
I press on up the stairs.
Okay. Uh, yeah, you take a few steps up the stairs. Uh, and yeah, you just sort of keep walking. There's a railing on the side, but you're not using it because you are holding all these pans. Um, it's just sort of a featureless stairwell. It's rather boring, actually. Gosh, man, you have been walking up these stairs a while. It's taken a bit. You didn't think the building was this tall, actually.
Bang, bang, bang,
Do it
bang, bang,
backwards,
bang,
long
bang, bang,
jump.
bang, 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 bang.
No, actually, you don't notice anything strange about this.
Oh, come on. Uh,
You get to the top of the stairs, uh, and
oh,
it's
okay.
just another sort of hallway. It just looks kind of blank. Heads
Mm.
straight forward.
I press on into the hallway, I suppose.
All right. You take a couple steps. It's a bit cold up here, drafty. It's honestly, it's pretty chilly. It feels like there's a cold breeze coming in through. Someone must have left a window open. You didn't see any broken ones, but it's the only real explanation. And oh fuck! Roll a dexterity saving throw.
Yeah.
So as you are walking down this hallway, suddenly you aren't anymore. Your foot just sort of keeps going when it should hit the floor,
Mm.
when it has hit the floor. And you realize, oh, you're not walking down a hallway. You went up a set of stairs, and then you turned around and went up another set of stairs. Of course you did. That's why it took you so long. You were in the attic, and then you walked out the door to... And then you hit the ground.
Oh.
Hmm.
Oh.
I'm guessing it wouldn't change anything, but that was
You
just a
take a
plain
point of
dex
bludgeoning
check.
damage
1 point of bludgeoning damage.
from falling out the window to the ground. Yep, it's only like 15-foot drop. It's not severe.
Mm.
You are now in the backyard, the garden. Your
Mm.
landing was also sort of cushioned by the overgrown weeds.
Mm.
The pots and pans you were carrying do make a loud clattering sound as you hit the ground. And now we are back
Mm.
inside with the other players. You hear the clattering of metal and the yelp of a tiefling as Sendra falls out of a window from the attic to the ground in the backyard.
Wow, looks like the ghosts finally did something.
Let's go check if he's okay.
She.
Sorry, I forgot that. Yeah, the character
Yeah.
was a girl.
So you just got the basement unlocked, and then you heard that, so you turn around and you go out the back door. Yeah, so the backyard is, as I said, enclosed by this large, well, it's fairly low. It's about 4 feet high, flagstone wall. It's only large in that it encircles this rather big area. There's what looks like a gazebo off in a corner, although it's a bit overgrown. There's sort of vines covering it, so it's enclosed now, which could be a cool effect. There's clearly what were once like patches of different flowers and bushes and things, but now they're all just sort of mixed with wildflowers and things. It is the middle of summer. It's the wet season for Everflow, so it's mostly firs and like shrubbery, but there are some like plants that are breaking through the snow as it melts. And yeah, off to the side, under an open window, is Sendra on the ground.
Wow, why'd you fall out the window?
Damned ghosts.
Were you pushed?
No, I was led.
Ah, yes, that makes sense.
Well, going up the stairs is a bad idea. My character like starts to get up, pats herself down. Let's stick to the main floor for now.
Alright, sounds like a plan. We did just unlock the basement, though. Or we could investigate
Alright, well,
back here further.
suit yourselves. I think I'm just gonna like I'll keep watch right in the stairwell for you, but I'm not gonna go down there. I just got my ass kicked by a ghost once today. It's not gonna happen twice.
Hmm.
We shall descend into the darkest depths of the basement.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the only thing I can think of right now.
All right. Do tabaxi or gnomes have dark vision?
I'm not a gnome, I'm a halfling, and I
Halfling.
don't have dark vision.
Halflings don't. Yeah. Do tabaxi have dark vision?
That is a great question. I believe so. Let's see.
Makes
Agility,
sense if they
talent.
did.
Yep, dark vision.
Okay.
Dark vision
Um,
60.
But for the sake of the halfling, Xavier is going to be holding.
Yeah.
He knows light, so he's going to be holding up just like a hand that's shedding light on everything. Um, okay, who's going first?
I'll go.
All right. Uh, the basement door opens to a sort of rickety-looking suspended staircase. Uh, it's it heads down into the darkness. You can see by the light that there is that the steps continue down like in a straight line about 10 feet. It's like a 10-foot deep basement, um, which is fairly large, but makes sense for such a big manor house. Uh, and that's really all the detail you can make out just from the doorway.
Hmm.
Uh, you're gonna just walk down?
Yeah, let's just go down.
Yeah.
Alright. As you take a few steps downward, what is your passive perception?
10.
That's not gonna be
15.
good enough.
Though
So,
he is
uh,
bleeding, so.
you don't notice until too late that a few of the nails in one of the boards that makes up a stair step are rusted all the way through, and the plank is a bit rotted, it looks like. So as you step and put
Ouch.
your weight on it, it does immediately give out. Can you roll me a dex save? All right. You stumble forward onto the next stair, but you don't fall all the way down. You do hear a splash as the board falls off of the stairwell.
So there's water or some other liquid down there.
Flooding issues. Great.
Say you're a cat. You don't like water, don't you?
What? Why would you assume something like
Oh, I
that?
forgot a thing. Sorry. There's also a in the backyard. There's a pump, like a well pump. You know, like a
Hmm.
hand pump. Yeah. Um, for water. Uh, which I forgot to mention until now. But it's there, and it's a little bit overgrown. It's been there the whole time. Anyway, back to the basement.
Well, I wonder if that's actually what that pump was for, maybe.
Perhaps, but I
It's probably
continue
for
down.
actual
About
water.
water. No, honestly, it's just like a pump for getting fresh water from
Yeah.
the ground. It has nothing to do with
Yeah.
this. I was just thinking about water.
Water.
That was out of character.
Water.
I'm gonna head down the stairs a little more carefully.
Okay. Yeah. The last like 3 steps of the stairs you can see, but they're a bit murky, and you realize that the light of Xavier's light cantrip is bouncing off a very clear but slightly like slightly clouded water line. There's water, yeah, covering the last few
Yeah.
steps.
Water. So
Very
there's water.
stagnant water.
Did anyone bring a boat? That was a rhetorical.
You're
At this point,
hilarious.
Xavier's gonna start walking down the stairs behind you just a couple of steps, which will let the light shed over the rest of the room. It's about 40 feet by 40 feet. Pretty large. It's 10 feet tall. Well, it's about 8 feet tall because the bottom 2 feet are covered in water. There is just open doorways. There's no doors. There's just like open, like where doors would be, leading into. Oh, it's a cobblestone basement, by the way. Leading into a couple of other chambers off to the sides. But this is the main room. There's large, empty husks of what probably were once like uh, wine kegs, but like the giant ones that are like as big as a person. What are
A
those
barrel.
called? Barrels? Yeah.
A still.
But they're broken and empty and hollow now.
No, the wine.
Yes. 3 of them, which is quite a lot. And then a couple of crates that have like bottles in them. A couple of them might be sealed, but from here it looks like most of them are broken or open or empty.
Oh. Can someone take my bag? I don't want my stuff getting wet.
Oh, and as I said, you can see the last couple of stairs. The water is mostly clear. It only gets murky like right at the very bottom, it looks like.
Okay. But yeah, can someone take my bag, please? I don't want my stuff getting wet. I have paper in there, and that will,
All right,
die.
I'll
Why do
go
you
ahead
have
and hand this up to
paper?
Sindra, since she's not coming down here.
There we
Xavier,
go.
yeah, hands the bag over to Sandra to watch.
Hmm.
I could probably swim in it.
Just kidding.
Yes, but you should be careful. After all, you can drown in only an inch of water.
I can, but I won't. I will make my way carefully into the water.
Okay, it is extremely cold. It is basically colder than ice. The second you dip your toe in, it is freezing to the point where you immediately jump back and almost fall off the stairs again. It is
All right.
like thick salt water. It is the coldest water you have ever felt.
Be careful, guys. This is very warm.
That seems unlikely.
Very.
It burned me.
Oh, are you sure it
Not
wasn't
enough to do
like an ice
damage.
burn kind of thing?
Oh my, that could have been it, but I have an idea. Ooh. I cast Prestidigitation to warm the water a bit as I go in.
That's not how
I
that
can.
works.
Okay, then I flavor it instead.
I mean, you can do that.
There.
So what is your strategy here? Are you just gonna kind of wade towards the crates?
I'm gonna wait around and look for corpses.
Okay. As you take a couple steps off of the stairs, first of all, roll me a Constitution save.
Oh, sure.
With disadvantage, because as a halfling it comes up to your chest, I believe, or 2 feet would be like most of your legs, so disadvantage, because you're small.
All right. There. Okay, 4.
Okay. Yeah, you're gonna take a d4 cold damage.
Okay.
That's a 4. You take 4 cold
Ow.
damage. Uh,
Okay. Now I think I would like some assistance, please.
but that's not it. Also, as you take a few steps out towards the middle of this room, only a couple, you stir up the like sediment and silt at the bottom of this very still water, and pretty quickly the entire room goes cloudy. You can no longer see anywhere under the surface of the water.
Hmm.
Is there
That's
any
not
way
good.
that
Wait.
do we have any way to remove the water
Gold
besides
Cliff.
just bucketing?
You know create or destroy water.
I do, but this is rather a large amount. It looks like it spreads to all of the other rooms too.
It will
Maybe a
lower it a
third
little bit.
level spell slot could do it. I can try.
Good idea. Let's do it.
So you're gonna get out of the water first, probably.
Oh yeah. I want to keep that blood.
Roll me an investigation check as you try to find the stairs because you can no longer see the bottom few steps.
Okay. There.
Alright, yeah, you're fine. Uh, yeah, Xavier kind of shuffles past you. It's not that hard. It's not a narrow staircase. Um, there is a railing here. It's fine. Um, he leans down, takes out a few grains of sand from his little bag of clericing supplies, and does a short prayer. Uh, and the water begins to sort of not bubble, but it visibly, like, an effect is happening to it. And it recedes a few inches, and then a few more inches, and then a couple inches further, and then it stops, and Xavier looks puzzled. It's receded less than a foot, and he just continues muttering his prayer under his breath as he continues the spell, but the water does not recede any further. And after a few minutes of this, he lets up, and the water returns to its original level.
That's not normal for water.
It could be that it's just being refilled from somewhere. It felt like I was still destroying the water, it just... there was always more of it. But
Were
it
they
doesn't
stupid
look
and
like
built the
it's
basement
moving.
below the water line?
Sorry, what?
Were they stupid and built the basement below the water line around here?
It shouldn't be.
True, isn't it like up on a hill, right?
It is
Ish.
sort of. It's like near the base of the glacier, sort of, so it is kind of
Mm.
elevated compared to the rest of town.
Hmm.
And that's a third level spell slot burned from me.
Hmm.
I only have one of those left.
Alright, this could be a bit rough, but we can manage.
What's the plan?
We can keep
Well,
looking for bodies. Does anyone have a large rake?
we could, but at the same time, the forces from the ghosts are higher on the wings rather than down here, though. So wouldn't the forces from the ghosts be stronger near where they died, possibly? Where their corpses? I don't know.
Maybe.
Has anyone here actually dealt with a ghost before?
No, this is my first time.
Hmm.
Not this type of ghost. I've been ghosted before. Ha ha ha. The pain.
Welp. I've been there, buddy. Alright. Maybe come back to the basement later?
Yeah.
This maybe just needs repair problems down here.
Yes, clearly. Clearly we'll have to fix this. Well, where to now?
The upstairs.
Goes to the sources, I guess, or at least attempt to.
Okay. So you're gonna head towards east or west wing?
Let's go west.
Alright. So the southwest door goes into the gallery, the northwest door goes into the hallway that Sandra had a small amount of trouble with. And then further down that hallway, you know there is a doorway that leads to a staircase that Sandra had a lot of trouble with. And then you also know that there is a second floor, another staircase, and an attic, but that is it. Sandra was not fully conscious when she was walking through the attic, so she does not remember anything about it.
I think I have an idea for dealing with their spooky illusion. And I pull out my quarterstaff and a bit
A bit of what?
like a bit of cloth from this guy's kit and like fashion a blindfold.
Okay.
Oh, you're going blind man on us.
I am. Now their visual illusions cannot fool me. They are powerless now. And I immediately walk into a
What
wall.
do you want us to do if they start doing audio illusion?
Well, I don't know.
I think I have a better idea. Why don't we just try to take the skeletons and push it somewhere else?
There's only one. We'd still need to find another.
Well, we can at least get one out of the way. They can't both haunt us at once. One of them can't haunt all of us at once.
Pretty sure it
You
can.
do. One, yeah, they probably can. Two, that probably was someone who was trying to live here, and then the ghosts probably dropped the chandelier on them.
That's not possible.
But it is.
No, it isn't. There's the thing that's keeping.
That's not
There's the
fighting.
thing.
It would be
I
causing
feel like
injury on purpose, though,
True.
which is...
Wouldn't that also be the
We're also near the
running
edge.
out of the attic?
I think, well, they didn't make her walk out of the attic. I suppose she did that herself. They just
No one made the
tricked
guy
her
stand
to do
under
it.
the chandelier when it was falling.
Yeah, that could be it. Maybe it was already falling and they just tricked him into standing under it for too long.
okay. How high would the chandelier have had to have been to be able to get someone to walk under it while it's falling?
Probably
I guess
by the
another
ceiling.
thing is, does anyone really know how to tell the age of a dead body?
No, I don't.
No.
It's bones, so
The
it's
general?
probably been a long time. I've not heard of any other deaths of adventurers coming through here.
Let's just take the bones out, and maybe that'll solve the problem. We can put them in the pond.
So
That
you're gonna head
Put the
sounds.
back to the
bones in the
bones? By the
Yeah,
way, this
put the
whole
bones
time
in the
Zentil has been blindfolded and talking to the wall.
yeah. I ran into it earlier.
You forgot to use your walking stick.
I've been trying to use it.
Alright. You head back to the bones. Yeah, humanoid bones, some tattered clothes under the iron chandelier. You would have to pick up the chandelier and move it. It left a big, like, dent in the floor where it fell. You would have to move the chandelier to investigate the bones further, or move them around.
Oh, Sandra!
Hmm.
Can you remove the chandelier from the bone pile?
I could try. 1 second, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Alright, Shadow, you do it instead then.
Okay.
What is... Oh, okay. So... 15. You would need a little bit of help, but you could do
Yeah.
I'll
it.
help.
Yeah. You managed to sort of... It's not the most graceful, but between you, Zentil, and Xavier's gonna help too. And you know what? We'll just say that Sendra also. You all just sort of each grab a bit of it and lift with your knees and get it off to the side to reveal. Yeah, it's a corpse. There's some clothes, as I said. Looks like the ones that were covered by the chandelier are a little bit more intact. The bones that were directly under it, the skull has a big crack going through it. Most of the ribs are crushed, etc. You know, because the chandelier fell on it. Although also they just look very brittle from age. And yeah, it looks like a dress of some sort, as well as a small, like, satchel, the remains of which are just sort of draped over uh, many shattered bone fragments.
Did I ever get that shovel?
You did not.
Nope.
I'll go get the
Alright. Yeah. In one corner of the backyard is the gazebo, in the other is the little hand pump. There is no shed to be seen.
I'll look in the gazebo. That's a place where shovels go.
Alright. So you would have to go through this like wall of vines over it. It would be fairly easy to just push through it and walk in.
Yeah, I do that.
It is pitch black in here.
I light a torch.
Right. You lean down and pull a torch out of your bag. You lift it up and light it. And you are standing in what must have at one point been a very nice gazebo. It looks like carved marble. There's this false golden inlay on a lot of it. There are these intricate swirling patterns on the ceiling of it that are like of this sky filled with clouds and storms that sort of like it looks so realistic, and the floor is stairs, like this stepped thing, and, like the middle is sunken in, and then there's this like carved stair around the edge. Um, oh, and also there's a guy sitting there next to you.
Like, a live guy?
Um, that's a good question. It's a guy.
Hello, sir.
He says nothing. He seems to be
Hmm.
staring at the ceiling.
I put my like hands over it, like I clap in front of his eyes.
Actually, you get closer to his face in order to do that, and you realize you can't really, you don't. What?
Oh, yeah, I'm short.
He's not. You don't know where his eyes are, and that's weird.
Oh,
You kind of you look him over again, and you realize it's definitely a guy. It's definitely a humanoid shape, but it's sort of not blurry. If it were blurry, you would be able to tell that. It just you can't really look at him quite right. Your eyes l- just slide off of his form. You can't. You don't. Eventually, you get a headache and have to just turn away and not look at this figure that is sitting on this bench that lines this gazebo, staring at the ceiling. You just can't look at it anymore. And when you turn
I,
back, it is gone.
oh, that was a ghost. I look at the ceiling.
All right. Yeah, there's these swirling storms that seem to that are painted so realistically they almost seem to like move with this slow, gentle wind, and you swear you can hear the distant crackling of thunder as you look at these intricate, detailed lightning bolts that are so razor thin in places. You don't know of any brush that can make strokes that fine. Um,
Hmm.
yeah,
Well, am I alone? Aside from any ghost people?
yeah, just a empty gazebo, very detailed ceiling, plant hangings around you.
Alright. I conjure up a mighty crackling beam and throw it at the ceiling.
Okay. Uh, Eldritch Blast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. Yes. So I suppose. Well, first of all, what color Eldritch Blast is it gonna be? Okay, it's red.
We're gonna go. Oh, I was
Because you
gonna say
didn't decide
green.
fast enough. Fine. Okay, green. Um, a green bolt of eldritch energy leaps from your hand towards the ceiling, uh, and then in the moment where it should make an impact, you see it just sort of fade.
Oh. So if it's. Alright. That's interesting. But is there a shovel in here?
Nope.
Ah. And what was the point of this? I exit the gazebo.
All right. You walk back out the curtain of plants, and you are now certain you hear thunder. Uh,
Oh,
as
that.
you are in the middle of a roaring storm, wind whips at you and pulls at your clothing. There is crackling thunder overhead. The entire area is lit by a crackling bolt as a wave of thunder washes over you, and you are pelted by sheets of freezing cold rain.
Oh, no, that is not good. Oh, well, back to the mansion in this monsoon.
Roll me a perception check.
Okay. Oh,
So, as another bolt of lightning strikes somewhere nearby, it actually hits like a mountaintop over uh, to the south. Um, it lights up the entire area again, and you can see the horizon. Except you shouldn't be able to see the horizon. In fact, you shouldn't be able to see the mountaintops. And you
Oh.
pause as you look around and realize that the mansion is now standing alone in the field where it should be surrounded entirely by the stacks. And as you take a full circle around, you can see the glacier and the bay, and, well, there's where Everflow should be.
Hmm. Hmm.
And as you
I'm back.
look back to your surroundings, you can see very neatly organized and a well tended to patch of various bushes and shrubbery. And in the middle of this deafening storm, knelt down, taking clippings from one of the bushes, is a human girl. Looks to
Oh.
be teenager, probably around 14 or 15.
Hello there.
She does not respond. She doesn't even look at you. And she I'm gonna keep using that natural 20 on perception. She actually seems. You can kind of. She seems not all there, like literally. Like, if you look too closely, you can kind of see through her a little bit. You can tell that you are in the middle of some kind of illusion. Uh,
Oh.
but that doesn't seem to be enough to dispel it. And this girl has a basket full of these clippings she's taking from this plant, uh, and she is just filling up the last of the basket, and she ties it closed and grabs her cloak close to her chest and pulls it down and walks against this battering rain that you now that you know that it's fake, you can no longer feel the cold of it on your skin, but you watch her push through it and towards the mansion.
What was she taking clippings from?
You're gonna go look at the plant.
Yeah?
Roll me a nature check.
Alright.
So you don't know exactly what this is, and it's even harder to tell because one, this is an illusion, and two, it's in the middle of a really fierce storm in the dark. But in the flash of a few more thunderbolts, you catch a sight of the leaves. They are this distinct, like, 4-point star shape with a little, like, darker bit in the middle and a lighter area around the edges. You don't know what these are, but you could identify them if you saw them again.
And I take it they're also an illusion?
Yes. You are currently completely enveloped in an illusion. Everything around you is an illusion right now.
What did I miss?
Jaden is in some kind of dream sequence or something.
Okay.
Yeah, the girl takes her basket and cloak and she enters into the mansion through the back door into the kitchen. The storm continues.
I'm gonna follow her.
Okay. Yeah, you walk into this kitchen, and it is the same kitchen that you were just in, but now it is, like, nice. There's a warm fire crackling in the stove. Uh, you can see her filling up the teapot from a what looks like a big pitcher that must have been filled from the well at some point. Uh, and there's torches lit in the braziers around the room. Uh, there's a fully stocked cupboard with plenty of dishware. She's got out a full tea set that she has on a platter that she is getting together, and she is starting to brew some tea. Um, and you can hear raised voices from the other room, uh, from the main hall, it sounds like.
I'm gonna try and poke the girl.
Your hand passes through her. It's an illusion.
That's what I figured would happen, or whatever. I go into I assume the Great Hall.
Okay. There are two figures sitting on opposite ends of the long table of the Great Hall. Uh, one female, one male. The woman is covered in. She has this sort of drab looking but still nice dress on, which is covered in splotches of various, very vivid colors. Looks like paint drippings. And she's even got a big splatter of it on her face. Uh, she looks probably like she's the mother of the girl making tea in the kitchen, judging by their facial features. And she is currently in something of a shouting match with the person you assume to be her husband on the other side of the table, who has this very nice tailored suit with lots of like frills and frock, and he looks very fancy and noble. Um, and they are both arguing, although you can't really tell what they're arguing about. Their words are indistinct, but you can see them and you can hear them, but can't really you can't really tell what they look like exactly, and you don't know what they're. It's like a memory. It's like a memory of something that you know happened, but you can't quite relive it exactly the way it was, and the details are just kind of wrong, off in places, and faded. As this argument continues, the girl walks in from the other room, the daughter. She has her cloak off now, and she's wearing a nice light blue dress. Um, and she gives a sheepish smile to her parents, who quiet down as she enters the room. She offers each of them a cup of tea, and then she takes one herself. They raise it in toast, and they each start to sip a little bit. And then the vision starts to fade.
Hmm. I'm gonna say that was poison because that would make.
You are back in the gazebo now.
Oh, wait, the man.
No, he's still not there. Um,
Ah.
but you are sitting exactly where he was.
Oh. Weird.
You walk out.
I exit the gazebo.
Yeah, this time you're just back in the backyard.
I'm gonna look for a shovel again.
Okay. Yep, you're investigating around. Roll me. Actually, you don't need to roll it. You just sort of look around for a while. It takes you a couple of minutes, but you do eventually find it. Uh, the thing is, it is next to a grave,
Oh.
an open grave. It is planted in the ground next to this. It basically just a long pit dug in the ground. It's old, the pit. It has a headstone over it, which is faded and is also overgrown, and the sides of this hole have fallen in. So it's now barely a dent into the ground, but it was clearly at some point much deeper.
Hmm. I will take a rubbing of the headstone.
Okay. As you start pulling away the kind of shrubby plants that are covering it, you realize something. actually. This plant growing over the headstone of this grave is the same 4-point star-shaped plant that you saw the little girl taking clippings of in your vision.
You know what? I'll take a clipping as well.
Okay. Yep, and then you look at the headstone, and yeah, you can't really read it, but you take a rubbing of it, and there's a few letters. You can clearly make out some R's, a couple of Y's, a T, but you can't really like make out the whole name because it's faded.
I'm going to take the headstone for later use.
It's very heavy and planted in the ground. It's a big, ornate headstone. Looks like someone spent a lot of money on this.
And hopefully it won't take a lot of money fixing it. I'm going to try and dig it out of the ground with the shovel.
Okay. Sure. You don't have to roll for that. But you're not gonna be able to lift it because it's 300 pounds of granite.
Oh,
Yeah, headstones are not light.
Grave markers are deliberately made extremely hard to move.
oh, Xavier, can you help me for a second? I need to move a headstone.
What? No.
What?
What?
Why
No.
do
I'm
you
gonna
need
get
to
it
move a
repaired.
headstone?
I'm gonna find a mender.
What?
We can have them come out here if it's that important.
Yes,
Oh,
or I
right.
can just cast mending on it.
Wait, you
And
know
Xavier
mending?
leans down and does that.
There we go. That was the plan. I didn't know you knew mending.
Yeah, so now that it is mended, it doesn't completely like fix everything, but you can make out the name at least. Hold on. That is the name, Arithia Fairchild.
All right.
The dates are obscured, but you imagine they would be over a century
Old.
ago.
All right. We have really a Fairchild, so that'll be notable. All right. Oh, Xavier, there was some magic stuff in the gazebo. I think you should go check it out.
All right then. Xavier wanders in. A couple seconds pass. Xavier wanders out. Yeah, it's a nice gazebo.
Did you look at the ceiling?
Yes.
Weird. Oh well. Oh,
Did you
Xavier,
do
you're.
anything to the ceiling?
I looked
Or
at it.
what? You looked at it, that's it?
I shot it.
You you shot it?
Well, that would explain
Yeah.
the scorch mark.
Oh, Xavier, do you recognize the plant?
Oh, let me see. No, I'm not really an expert. What about you? And he sort of gestures to the rest of the party.
Um,
I know nothing of
Nature
the
checks.
floral.
Nature checks. I want you to roll nature checks.
nature.
All right.
Nature.
Shadow, you know what this plant is, at least vaguely. It grows pretty commonly in the region. It has a very nice flower. It's sort of a well, there's a few varieties of it. Some of them make uh, decent like teas. They're sort of herbal remedies. They're considered, though you have to be careful with the dosage. Um, Others are just sort of decorative. Most are completely just sort of bad tasting but harmless.
Hmm.
And I'm guessing careful with the dosage, as in.
I mean, you could die if you drank too much of it or chewed on the leaves directly.
Mm,
Not many usually do, though, as it's a very bitter plant.
hmm. Question. Could it be made into like an actual like poison then, since it's
Possibly.
okay? I'll keep that in mind. But then, like, I also relay what you told me to the group.
Hmm.
So you said there was something weird and magical that happened. What did happen in there? You never told us.
Yes.
I looked at
Sorry.
the ceiling, and
And then the
very
story that we
story.
heard, I'm guessing.
Yeah, he just sort of. I
Yeah,
mean, unless he
relays it
wants to
after
leave any
that.
bits out,
Unless he
he
wants to leave
relates
it.
it.
Hi.
Yeah, I relay it.
Yeah. Okay. What you want to do?
I'm gonna go examine the bones again.
Okay. Yep. Looks like a person. It's been dead a while. They look to be probably about in their 20s, if you had to guess. Uh, Wearing a tattered dress, little satchel.
Hmm. You know what? I'm gonna put it in the grave.
Okay, you scoop up the bones and you dump them in the grave.
Xavier, can you like say a prayer or something?
I suppose. Uh, and he does. He does a little little ceremony.
Are you sure this doesn't?
Well,
Are
they
you sure
still
this is the
deserve
right
peace.
grave? Well, yes, they still deserve peace, but is this the right person for this? I don't know how this stuff works.
Wearing
Do
a
you need to put them
dress.
back in their own grave?
Don't look at me.
Look, let's just go back
You're the
upstairs.
cleric. I don't know.
I'm bringing the shovel.
Where are you going?
Upstairs. In the house.
Okay.
I would recommend that.
All right. You head up the stairs, and now that you know to be cautious, you easily notice when your eyes sort of drift towards the other stairwell, and you stop yourself. Yeah. Upstairs there is another mostly featureless hallway with some actually empty portraits, empty picture frames here, and then it looks like it continues down towards the west.
Do you want to
Let's
do
go that way. And I head
Alright.
towards the west.
Sorry. Eventually, there is a door to the north on your left.
I open the door.
Okay. Uh, So this is a small sort of. It looks like it's a bedroom. It's fairly small. It looks maybe 10 feet across at most. Uh, it's mostly taken up by the remains of a bed frame and a small bookshelf with a very limited collection of books. And in the corner is a rocking chair that gently moves back and forth.
I'm gonna sit in a rocking chair.
Okay. Uh, the rocking chair leans backwards pretty far, and then it leans forward, and then it just sort of keeps rocking.
Neat.
As you leave it, it comes to a stop.
Okay then. Alright, let's continue onwards to find the attic.
Okay. Well, you know where the stairway to the attic is.
Yeah,
Would
I
you
go,
say? Oh,
go up the stairway.
okay. The
But I
attic
keep the stick
is
out front of me so I don't fall out the window.
okay. The attic is fairly barren. You don't go out the window because you know to look out for illusions. The attic is fairly barren. There's just sort of bare floor. A lot of dust. Piles of probably boxes covered in sheets. It's very attic-y. It's a bit
I
cramped.
remove the sheets.
Mostly just like ruined wood, planks, rotted bits. There looks to be like various canvases and painting supplies and a couple of musical instruments that uh, were clearly destroyed by like water damage, and you see a spot where it looks like there's some leaking through the roof where some of the shingles are misplaced.
I put one of the sheets on and act like a ghost.
You offend everyone.
Now is not the time.
Ooh, spooky, I'm gonna make you fall out a window.
I will punch you.
Do it,
I punched Jaden's character.
you fool!
Okay, hellish repose.
Mm, I don't have hellish repose.
I know you don't.
I don't know.
Oh.
Aw.
Wait, no, I don't. Wait, do I?
Isn't it rebuke?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
what it
rebuke.
is.
And it's when they, I think it's when they hit, or is it just an attack in general? I forget
It's
I'm
when
checking.
they hit,
the specific.
but you can choose to let them hit. Anyway,
Wait, let me check something.
this is pointless. So, moving on.
Wait, no. I need to roll to hit.
Ha! The nihilist is a hack!
You're on the edge of the phone.
Oh.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so
Oh no. That wasn't enough.
You missed. Alright,
Alright, we're ready.
I don't even get Hellish Rebuke.
towards the eastern edge of the attic is a one large sheeted thing. It's like a big wide. It looks like maybe a table. There's some legs poking out from under the sheet. Towards the western edge of the attic, there are about a dozen smaller things covered with sheets. Look like maybe hat racks or something.
I would uncover the big thing.
Okay. It is a grand piano gleaming black with ivory white keys that and as you pull off the sheet, actually part of it catches on the cover, the lid, the bit. You know how grand pianos open sometimes?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's open now. As you pull open the sheet, it opens. Um, and
I dare you to jump in.
the dust swirls around you and settles as this piano is revealed. Um, and there is a flutter of sheets as sheet music comes to rest on the ground after being pulled off of the music holder.
I bet those ghosts were gonna try and play this ominously. Joke's on them, I beat them to it. And I begin playing the piano incredibly badly.
All right. You walk up to the piano. Can you make me a charisma save?
Sure.
Wouldn't it be performance?
No, it's a charisma save.
Alright.
I'm good at those.
Oh, goodness.
That's not a good roll, though. You begin playing the piano, and at first you're just sort of banging on the keys, having a good time, messing with everyone, as is sort of your shtick at this point. And then as you get into it a little bit, you kind of pluck out a couple of melodies, some little ditties, you know. And then, wow, this thing is really good. This is like, you can hear the sound echoes through the attic off of the walls. There's some really good reverb and acoustics in here. And actually, as you continue to hit keys just sort of randomly, you start to pluck out this melody that eventually you're actively playing. And before you know it, you are sitting on the bench of the piano, strumming out this long and terribly sad song. And you can't stop yourself as you just keep playing and playing, and you continue to listen to this depressing lament that's coming out of this instrument under your grasp. And everyone, make me a. Nope, there's no save for this. Never mind. Psychic damage time.
Oh,
Hmm.
Well, I should have
4
brought the
psychic
pots and pans.
damage to everyone in the attic.
Oh, goodness. Ow.
And Sendra's out. Just kidding, I hope.
Sendra is on 1 HP.
hey, I'm doing
No,
better
I'm
than
on-
her.
Wait, how am I on 1? How am I on 1 HP?
Didn't you take? Oh no, you took. You're on 5. You're on 5. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm not doing that good myself.
Xavier's gonna go ahead and slap you on the back, give you a little healing.
To whom?
You, because you're the worst off right now.
Yeah.
Hold on. Boop-a-doop-a-doo.
Gagoosh.
Where is his spell sheet? There it is. Cure wounds. Come on. Hold on, I'm lagging. Xavier Goldcliff, Cure Wounds, level 1. Come on. Okay, well, you're back to full.
Yay. Not dying anymore. I'm not dying. There. Now I can play the piano longer.
How
Please
about
don't.
no?
I can't stop.
No, you can stop now.
Ah, there we go.
My character just kind of looks at the piano and goes, 5 gold to the first person that jumps in. Nobody?
5
Alright.
gold. I'll do it.
Oh.
You gonna
Well.
jump directly into the strings?
Wait, is that dangerous?
Don't break it.
I don't want to break it. We could sell it for good money.
Then why are you going to jump onto the strings?
Good point.
Actually, at this point, you've already like walked up to the open end and you're looking in. And there are no strings.
Ah,
This
That's-
one's going in my room. This piano is going to my room when we get done.
no, no. This is mine. This is going in the Great Hall.
No, it's mine. It's mine.
You know what I have to say about that?
2
I already
charisma-based
picked up my-
characters arguing over a freaking piano.
You know what I have to say
it's
about that?
ours.
I see Xavier gets it. He's the leader.
That works too for me for this
Sure, it
situation.
belongs to the whole guild anyway. Moving
Yeah,
on.
like
Yeah, let's go. I soil Syndra's pants again.
Anyway. There are still the figures on the western side, or you can leave.
Let's go there. Figures.
Okay. You pull a sheet off of one of them.
Yep.
And what you see is quite strange.
oh,
Spooky.
Standing here is a humanoid figure, except it has no skin or bones or muscle. It's painted. It's a portrait, except it's like a person. It's like standing there, but it's clearly painted. You can see the brushstrokes of its existence, and yet it's a three-dimensional painting.
It's a statue.
No, because then
Oh?
it moves. And actually, so do the other 11. And this entire litany of 12 painted golems is moving, and they shuffle around the room, sort of aimlessly.
Do they look like they're dancing?
They don't for a bit, and then they do because you guessed my bit. Yeah, they begin to dance. Wisdom saves, everyone who's looking.
Oh,
mm,
I am
Well,
not looking.
would be
I
looking.
undo my.
Would have been looking.
okay.
Alright, you're fine.
Okay.
It's a bit disturbing. They move in ways that, like, human beings wouldn't be able to, but they're clearly not real. And then they sort of break apart, like dried paint peeling away into nothingness as they finish their dance. It's a bit disturbing.
Did
but
Sandra
not
also
terrible.
pass?
Yep.
Okay. Woo, low DC. That I got a nat 20 on.
You can investigate the piano further, or you can leave.
Let's leave. I don't think we're gonna find any corpses here.
So,
Mm,
so I take it everyone is leaving.
Mm-hmm.
what was all up here
Okay.
again? Were there like boxes and stuff up here too? I forget.
Yeah, but they're mostly just destroyed, like,
Mm,
they sort of rotted away with time. The empty grand piano, the music papers that fell to the floor when you
Yeah.
unsheeted it, and now just a bunch of paint chips where these weird figures were once standing.
Okay. So as everyone leaves, I'm going to hang back and then I'm going to as everyone exits the door, I'm going to quickly engrave my name into the piano, and then I'm going to leave.
All right. Do you want to roll me a perception check real quick?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. Natural 20.
As you pass by the sheet music that was discarded on the ground, you actually notice something familiar. The heading at the top of it, and you lean down and pick it
Oh.
up. And you see the name of this song, and you can't really read sheet music very well, but you can tell that it's the song you were listening to, probably. Judging by the arrangement of the notes, they look sort of like the song you were listening to that Zentil found himself playing against his will. And the title of the piece is Lament for Rithia. Or Rithia. Rithia?
I'm going to put that in my pocket, and then I'm going to immediately regret not bringing any pots and pans with me, and I'm going to quickly kind of do that, sprint walk thing that people do. I'm going to do that to catch up with everyone.
Okay.
We hear you coming. What were you up to?
So I'm not the best at reading music, and then I take the sheet music from out of my pocket and I open it up and I say, this piece kind of seems like it's the one that Zento was playing back there, and does the name Rithia mean anything to you guys? And I show them the
Yeah, that's
paper.
what that was the name on the tombstone.
Oh, okay. Well, they are lamenting quite in a way. Does
It
anyone
says
want
Lament
this, or am I?
for Rithia, by the way.
Oh, well, someone's lamenting for Rithia in quite a way. Does anyone want this, or am I just gonna keep it? Nobody? Okay. Fold it
Keep
up,
it
put it
for
back in my
now.
pocket.
Alright, the hallway continues, or you could go back.
Continue onward.
Alright. Further down the hallway, there is a door leading off to your right. Or the hallway continues.
I'm gonna open the door.
Alright.
Yeah.
It looks like another hallway. Leading down
It looks
towards a
like
corner.
another hallway. That's exactly what a ghost wanting to make a hallway would want me to think. I pull out a crossbow and shoot it down the hallway.
Okay. As your crossbow bolt soars towards the far wall where the hallway seems to bend sharply around a corner, the crossbow bolt actually also sharply bends and turns around the corner.
That's not normal.
Damn
But I
ghost.
was right! Ha ha!
You don't hear the crossbow bolt land.
Damned ghosts. Alright,
That is
well, my
concerning.
character goes over to where the hallway bends, and then I'm going to try to walk through the wall and just keep going in a straight line.
Well, that was very
Okay. You're walking down this hallway, and you can see that around the corner there, the hallway continues a short bit, and then it turns again to the right again. And as you put your hands up against this far wall, yeah, it just seems like a wall.
Hmm. Odd. Alright, guys. It's good. Or wait, we're doing character voices. Alright, guys. It's good. Get down here.
All right then.
We go carefully, based on the weirdness.
Okay. You walk down the hallway towards Sandra.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Alright, let's press on.
Okay. You continue around the corner to the right towards the other turn.
All right.
Okay. You turn to
And
the
we
right
keep
again,
going.
and the hallway continues for a short while. There are now some like paintings on the wall. It looks like various portraits, a couple of which you actually recognize Zentil as portraits of um, their features are still sort of indistinct, but these are portraits you're pretty sure of the parents you saw in your weird dream state flashback thing, as well as the daughter and another third female form
Oh.
that also looks related.
Hmm.
You can continue on
Neat.
down the hallway, or you can turn around.
Let's continue onward.
Okay. You go a short bit further, and then the hallway turns to the right again. And you can see down this, the hallway continues a short while, and then there's another turn towards the right.
Let's continue onward.
All right. As you
Dude,
continue, so the portraits have these bright red clothing. They have these very nice, fancy outfits. Bright reds and blues. A couple of dark greens in there. They look very noble. They have some jewelry on, some fancy things. As you continue, it goes from like pearl necklaces to opulent jewelry. And then you turn around the corner, and well, there's your crossbow bolt. Somehow, it is lodged directly into one of the paintings, perpendicular to the rest of the hallway, which
Oh,
continues on
that's
a
not
short
good.
while and then turns around to the right.
huh. That's odd. I mean, this whole place is odd, to be fair.
Hmm. Well, I'm gonna take back my crossbow bolt.
Okay. It is jutting out of the eye of a screaming painting of the husband. The face of this painting is distorted in pain, and a long red trail goes from the hole where its eye would be down to its neck.
Oh, that's totally not a bad thing. But I got my crossbow bolt back, so we have not lost an investment.
That is very weirdly specific that it's the screaming husband with the.
It's a ghost.
Yeah. I take one of my daggers and just slightly poke the guy's like forehead or something.
You make a hole in the canvas.
Hmm.
I don't know what you expected to happen.
Hmm.
I mean, true. It just
I take the
seemed
painting
weird that the
off the
blood was
wall.
coming from.
Okay. Yeah, it's a painting. There's a big discolored spot behind it.
Hmm. Neat.
I mean, I don't think there'd be any secret doors behind any of these. Do you guys? Click, clack, click, clack.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I'm gonna take the rest of the painting.
Okay. So your hands are full, so you have to set down the first painting to go to reach for the other one. And as you set it down, the painting actually crumbles to dust.
Ugh. God dang it, that just destroyed the value.
And by the value, you mean the whole thing.
Yeah. Actually, I scoop up the dust and put it in a bag. I could probably sell this to some druggie.
The dust kind of drifts through your fingers and spreads around the room. You can't get a good
Oh,
grip
so
on
it's a
it.
ghost painting. Oh, that's just great.
Hmm.
You can continue
So it's
down the
just like
hallway,
a.
or you can turn around.
I'm gonna take another painting.
It crumbles to dust in your hands.
I'm gonna continue down the hallway.
All right. What about the rest of the party?
I mean, probably should stick
Press
together,
button.
especially with how weird this one area is.
Okay. As you continue down the hallway, you take another turn to the right. The paint and wallpaper here is starting to peel in a couple of places. Nothing unexplainable from just, water damage and time. The paintings on the wall are getting increasingly opulent. There's fancy jewelry, there's crowns and robes, there are scepters and necklaces. Uh, Although the faces in them have not changed, including the hole seeping red paint where the eye of the husband should be. Uh, and the frames of them are now a tarnished gold.
Hmm.
This is very strange still.
Also, it's still pitch black other than the light from Xavier's cantrip.
Hmm.
But that's a form of visual horror that doesn't really translate.
Mm. Um, so basically, just every time we go around, they get, like, air quotes, wealthier and wealthier in the pictures.
Yep.
Hmm. And do the walls feel solid?
You put a hand to it, and it comes away cold and moist, like it's sort of clammy, damp.
Oh, that's not good.
The scent of mildew is getting a bit stronger.
Hmm.
Well, the only things really to do are either continue on or try to head back.
Continue onward.
All right. Another turn around, and now things are even worse. There are large dark patches on the ceiling that drip water that seem to be molded. The frames of some of the paintings are busted, and there are several, well, knives sticking out of the paintings. And where the knives jut from the canvas, there is seeping red paint like blood dripping down the walls.
Oh, that's very scary. I'm sure the ghosts are near here. Continue onward.
All right. The painting frames are now completely empty.
Oh,
I don't know whether to be more scared or less scared of that.
let's continue onwards.
As you round this corner, 4 figures are standing in the hallway across from you.
Oh,
They are indistinct, although they clearly at some point were wearing fancy dresses, crowns, various opulent robes. Now they are covered in layers and layers of mudded paint, brown and green and red mixing together into this mottled shades of gray and dark oozing colors that bleed out of several knives and a crossbow bolt, actually, that stick out of them at various places. One of them, the tallest, with a distinctly male figure, has your crossbow bolt sticking out of its left eye. And they
oh
all
no, that.
stand perfectly still, blocking your path, staring at you.
Well, I'm just gonna walk through them. If they're ghosts, I can walk through them.
As you approach the figures, you reach out a hand to push through them, and they are solid feeling. Your hand comes away smeared with blackened paint.
Well, I walk up to the ghosts and go, "Hello, my name is Sandra. This is my hunt adventuring company. That right there is Xavier Goldcliff. He's important. I don't quite remember what he does, but it doesn't matter. And then we have my cohorts.
The female
Zen-
figure reaches out towards you. The tallest female figure reaches out towards you, and a big glob of paint drips down from its arm onto you and coats your face.
Well, that's quite the introduction. Can you not speak, or did I just say something to offend you?
The paint continues to spread as it just keeps sort of seeping in onto the floor, out across the room.
Okay. Well, here's my card. Oh wait, I do the card trick. I forgot about the card trick. Okay. So, for the people who don't know, the card trick is so my character has like you'll know that Spider-Man has his like little webby thwip things. My character has that, but with like a card, like business cards, and she does that motion, and then she gets them, and it's like a party trick where she can like make them seem like they spontaneously appear. My character is going to do that to these ghosts.
All right. Sandra hands reaches out with one of these cards, and the male figure like reaches back and grabs it, uh, and it is instantly completely coated and soaked through with paint. Also,
That's
you are now
understandable.
standing in about a centimeter thick of this oily, sluggish paint that is slowly like seeping through the room. The walls are now completely covered in it, and it seems to be dripping out of the ceiling from those rotting patches.
Is
So
there a
can
way
you
we can
not-
help you guys?
They don't say anything.
Okay. Wait. I pull out the piece of paper and then I say the name of the person who is being lamented.
Rithia?
Yes. Rithia?
The
Which one of
smallest
you is
figure at the back, which you now notice actually doesn't have any weaponry jabbed into it, perks up its head.
Is that your name?
The figure sort of cocks its head curiously, and then all four of them splatter to the floor. They dissolve into paint, which is coating the room.
Let's continue onward.
Actually, as this entire room starts to melt away into this like lake of wet paint, the walls come down too, and you're standing in a perfectly square room that is entirely covered in this like mix of various colored paints, and then there's just the door that you came in.
Hmm.
Also, you're all completely soaked in paint.
Not after I
That's all
clean
right.
myself
We have
off
some
with
water outside.
prestidigitation.
It'll take a while, but we'll clean ourselves off.
Yeah, it just takes a couple seconds and you're all clean. But yeah, this room is just covered in wet paint.
Alright, so we leave. We do the exact opposite of pressing on. We press off.
All
I
right.
press onward.
You walk back out the door and you're back in the hallway. It continues further to the west.
Hmm.
Cue that like audio clip from Finding Nemo. So what now?
I go back and try to play the piano.
All right, you head back to the attic. And as you hit the keys, the hammers inside the piano move, but there's no strings, so it doesn't make any sound.
Hmm. Well,
Not
I guess
really.
we
There
can-
are no strings. It was weird that it played before.
Exactly.
there are
Indubitably.
Hmm.
Well, by that weird paint room, I'm guessing we're probably getting we were probably getting closer. So I guess we want to go back down to that hallway and continue on? See if it seems like we're getting even closer or not?
Well, yeah, I think that that's a good idea, personally.
Alright, you continue on past the weird paint room, and the hallway comes to an end. There's just one last door leading to the west.
I open it.
Well, we open that last door.
Alright. It opens into a large paint studio. There are various easels around, open cans of paint, all dried, brushes just all across the floor, and standing on a small platform at the back of the room are several mannequins in various poses, draped in clothing.
Hmm.
Okay. Well,
There's also several
I want-
canvases around with various works in progress.
Okay, I have an idea. I pull out the piece of paper and I say Rythia's name again.
Okay.
Anything happen?
One of the canvases, there's a noise, and one of the canvases seems to shudder.
I go over
up
to the
and
canvas.
touch it.
It's another one of those
Go over
portraits
to the
that have
canvas.
been kind of all over this house. It's of the wife, the mother figure, except it's not finished. There's only about half of her face there and a little bit of her hair, and her neck just sort of ends without any clothing.
Are there any
For curiosity-
painting supplies around?
Yeah, there's tons of paint cans, a couple of which aren't even opened. Well, jars of paint, and brushes everywhere. Most of them are ruined, having been utterly soaked in paint and then just left for hundreds of years. Well, 100 years. But, yep, there's paint supplies just all over.
Okay. Have we? Okay, I'm gonna do it again. Rythia.
Yeah, so this painting is missing most of its features. There's just kind of an ear, a bit of an eye, a nostril, but not the rest of the nose, some of the shadows of the face, and yet you can still tell that it very clearly moves, and it is frowning.
I attempt to paint
Communicating,
the
but
rest.
it doesn't seem like it's able to verbally communicate with us.
Can I attempt to paint the rest of the picture?
You can try.
And a roll would that be?
It wouldn't be, because as you bring a brush with a little bit of paint on it towards this painting, the canvas ripples like water, and the painting emerges out of it. It's another one of those figures that you've seen, the living paint things, except it's the woman, except her features are still partially missing, but her head opens, not like a mouth, just sort of a hole appears in it, like a wet, ripping canvas hole, and it hisses, "What do you want?"
To
We
figure
want to
out
help
what.
you find rest.
Yes, just trying to help.
That'd be it.
If you want me to rest, then you must get rid of my bastard of a husband.
What is he?
What happened here?
He
What did he do?
poisoned us. Me and my dear, darling Rythia. He killed us. And now I will stay here, and I will make him suffer until he admits it.
Is he
Where?
Was it
other
storming
ghost
the day
that's
of the
here on the
poisoning?
other side?
He is in his music room in the East Wing. And the
Well.
figure like raises a hand back towards the door you went in. You came in through. Go, destroy him, and then I will be at peace. And
have
she
a
starts to
question.
melt back into the canvas.
What about Jaden's question? I sort of accidentally wound up speaking over it because Discord.
Yeah, what was it?
I asked her if it was storming the day that they were poisoned.
Yes. It was a cold, storming night. And then the painting falls still.
Oh, I know what happened.
By the way, roll perception.
Okay.
I know. I can tell what happened.
Yeah.
And I don't know how we're gonna solve this.
That was performance, not.
It's perception. Yeah.
perception.
Okay, Sendra. The central okay, Shadow. The central mannequin is in the same pose as the painting of the woman, and actually, as you look at it closer, it's not a mannequin; it's a corpse
Oh,
with a veil over
Oh,
its face.
yucky yuck.
Hmm.
are the rest of them mannequins, or are they also?
Oh, the rest
corpses?
are mannequins.
Oh, good.
Do we want to get rid of this?
Well, I think we found one of the bodies.
Hmm.
Do we want to
And
keep it? Like,
and with that last
decorate?
question, I think I know what happened. If you guys haven't figured it out,
I think I know as well. Yeah.
I have not.
I think the parents were constantly at ends with each other, and the girl was getting sick of it. Remember what I told you about that flower earlier?
Mm-hmm.
That if you ate too much, it would poison you. It will indubitably kill you.
I feel like the daughter poisoned the family.
That doesn't make sense, though. She wouldn't have been able to. With the field, poisoning isn't
She,
possible in Everflow.
But
it was
this was
over.
pre-Everflow,
Well, the Nihilist
wasn't
was
it?
still there.
What's true, but
The Nihilist has been there longer than any of us.
Do exist on the ends. The very specifically, you said that the basement would be considered the very end of the nihilist's power.
One corner in the garden, but
Well,
Isn't
the
the
god.
nihilist power? Maybe it was an
what's there to
accident.
say-
it
what's there
could
to
have
say
been an
that the
accident.
daughter didn't place poison in, say, a teacup of the parents?
Well, no, she wouldn't
While
have
in
been
that.
able to. Okay, she wouldn't have been able to hand a poisoned cup of tea to them in the middle of the Great Hall. That would be killing them.
If it was on purpose, it is. It was. They were a child at the time, and they could have got the proportions wrong and accidentally poisoned their family. But the parent. I mean, I'm guessing if we go over to the husband, they're going to say that the wife poisoned their child and the family. What if it was the child accidentally poisoning the family and the parents are just at odds still? Because in his vision or whatever, the parents were arguing. My
What
guess
do
is
you
somehow
do?
it was.
I go to see where
I'm
the
going
father
to
is.
Yeah.
storm my way. I'm just going to start to run down the hall into the music room.
Okay, so the hallway actually ends at the stairway to the attic. So you have to go back down and then over to the east side and then up a different stairwell.
Okay. But I'm going through, so I'm going to do that, but I'm going to pretty much be sprinting the entire way there.
Okay. Yep. So this one is a spiral staircase. And you are sprinting up it. When the thing happens. So make me a dex save.
Mm,
You know, it's not good to run in ghost condition.
Alright, that's good enough. You managed to grab the railing as this is a metal spiral staircase with these triangular steps. You can probably picture it in your head. And as you are halfway running up it, the stairs just sort of turn into a slide, shift, so that you can no longer get any purchase, but you manage to grab onto the railing and hold yourself until they shift back.
Wait, that seems like that's actively trying to harm me.
And just keep you from progressing.
Yes.
You didn't
Throwing
get
me
hurt, did
over a
you?
banister is not harmful in any way.
You would have just slid back down to the bottom harmlessly.
Hmm.
Watch this, I can run up the slide. But of course, I don't think I can do it without a little help.
I mean, no, there's stairs again now.
Oh, well,
They gave
They're gonna
up
just-
after they saw that Sendra succeeded.
god damn. Oh well, I'll go up anyway.
Alright.
Alright.
It's another hallway. Looks very similar to the other one, except instead of paintings on all of the walls, in this wing, there are these like sculptures involving musical instruments. You know, because they've got a
Oh.
theme.
Mm-hmm. Artists.
So like violin, like old broken violins strung together and hung up on the walls in these patterns. Looks pretty nice. There's violins, there's trumpets, there's all sorts of different instruments.
Hmm.
Okay. I'm
Well,
going to
the
do
end
something very,
rooms
very
seem to have been
from it. I'm going to grab one of the trumpets and I'm just going to try to play it. God, do
and
not kill
I'm
me.
going to try to stop you, because, yeah.
It's covered in a thick layer of grime and mold. Please don't.
Oh.
Xavier's just like,
Yeah, okay.
oh, please don't do that. I will yards.
Yes,
I will yards all over you.
I put it back.
If this wing is anything like the other, the guy's going to be at the very last door in his room. Do we just want to go ahead and skip to that?
Sure.
I mean, maybe we could do a bit investigating in the other ones, though.
You continue down the hallway, and then there's a doorway on your left.
Continue to the end door.
Okay, you continue down the hallway. There's a door on your right. You continue down the hallway. There's a door straight forward to the east.
We progress to that door.
Yep, it's a huge music room. There's many broken instruments, a harp with only a few of the strings left. Another one of those pianos, but this one is like smaller than the one in the attic.
I'm Buzz Lightyear. I come in.
There's Buzz Lightyear in the corner apparently.
Lightyear shows up. He's going to help us rest the campaign.
There are a few drums that have like this leathery skin on them. There's like a big xylophone, you know, just all sorts of instruments.
Skin, you say?
This galaxy is my protection.
Why are you... Stop that.
Sorry.
Sure you didn't. You literally pressed the button on it that time.
Anyway, what do you do?
I'm going to examine the drums.
All right. Yep. Dark brown, leathery leather over the drums.
That's totally not human skin.
Stop guessing my twists.
You
Yeah, it's
described
the
them being
dad's
like
human
skin.
skin.
I'm gonna
This-
play it like
Yeah.
a drum.
Yeah, and the like one of the drums is made out of his bones, and fine, you win.
Alright, I pull out a piece of paper and I say Rythia.
Yeah, and it starts to shake, and then so you didn't get to see the musical golems, but it breaks out into one of them. It's this like moving distortion of noise and sound. That's really hard to describe quickly, but it basically, you know, like heat distortion, like those illusions when something's really hot and it kind of bends the air. sort of like that, except it's also really loud.
Well, I don't think we're going to be able to communicate with this thing effectively, considering how loud it is.
What do you want?
Hey, it can speak. We were just communicating with your wife, and
Kill the
says,
bitch.
Ooh.
hey,
She
that you
poisoned
your
us and our dear Rithia.
daughter. Wait, what? What happened? Sorry, I was
But she
busy
says
explaining.
you did it.
She's a liar.
Okay,
I
no,
will
hear
keep
me
her
out.
trapped here until
Is there
she
anyone
is
else who could have poisoned
destroyed.
you?
It was only us in the house.
Was there anyone else? Are
Okay.
you sure?
And okay, and now hear me out. Rithia could have done it, maybe on accident.
Our dear sweet daughter would never hurt us.
Not
She would
on purpose,
never.
but no, okay, no, not on purpose. But you see, you kept poison flowers in the backyard over there. She's a child. If you didn't pay adequate enough attention to her, she could have very well accidentally poisoned all of you.
She knew the tea leaves from the and then he lists the name of the plant. It's like an herbal remedy thing. I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head. It was her garden. We buried her there. Well, we intended to.
What happened?
Intended to?
We died of
Oh,
poison.
true.
I
So you all
noticed-
died at the same time, then, aroundish.
Yes.
Well, okay, then what use would your wife have to poison herself? If she gets rid of you and your daughter, if she is the poisoner, then why would she poison herself?
To escape my wrath.
But it literally just locked you in here for the rest of eternity. You guys are going to be fighting for the rest of eternity over this.
You're
It is taking
f-
all I have to hold her here. I
Our
will
friend.
not
Mr.
let her move on.
No.
Sir Fairchild.
No.
Sorry, what?
Okay,
Sir Fairchild.
Oh, Sir Fairchild. Okay, yeah, that's his name. Yep. His name
Where
is
is
Simon, and her
Rithia's
name
room?
is Griselda. By the way, it'll probably never come up.
Simon Griselda.
Simon
Yeah.
and Griselda.
Griselda.
Mm.
Do you know where the Rithia's room is?
Yes. It is just down
it's in the
the
basement, I
hall.
suppose.
Well, I'm gonna go there now.
Okay. The musical distortion fades back into the drum. You leave the music room. It was the first door that you just ignored. It's a little
Wait, did
bedroom.
Rithia Wait, no, did Rithia have 2 rooms?
I don't know what you mean.
Oh wait, no, okay. What about the room that we looked at in the painter side?
You know,
That could have.
it was a
There was
bedroom.
Hi.
4 figures.
My Discord did the thing. What did I miss?
Oh.
I think that Rithia had 2 rooms.
Wasn't there a
Hmm.
4th figure?
So the Simon basically said there is a Rithia's room is on his side. It was the door that you passed, and blah blah blah. And they are now arguing about the other bedroom that you saw on the west
Yeah,
wing.
but
Wait, wasn't there one picture that had 4 figures?
Yeah, that's
In
what
the
I'm
paint
talking
room,
about.
yeah, there were 4 different
Yeah.
figures.
Who's the other one? I'm guessing you guys asked that while I was gone. Who the other
Anyway,
figure was?
in Rithia's bedroom,
all of this, obviously.
can I finish?
Yes.
So there is a small bookshelf with the tattered remains of several books. There's a chest, there's a vanity, tarnished, and on the bed is a small corpse you presume to be Rithia. It is faded, it is mummified almost entirely to just like bones, papery skin, looks like a teenager, probably her, and her arms are crossed over her chest peacefully, and under her arms is a small journal.
Lithia.
I do the thing where the
Yeah, it's just a bedroom and a corpse.
nothing happens. Okay, cool.
I carefully
I'm not-
take the journal.
That is
As you approach the bed, from
Kid.
underneath it, or no, wait, hold on. As you approach the bed, a small music box that you hadn't noticed earlier pops open on the vanity, and a few tinkling notes of that same song you heard earlier, that Lament for Rithia, starts to play, and one of those musical distortion ghost things climbs out of the music box and stands in your way before the bed.
Hmm.
Huh.
It's not
Hello there.
attacking you, it's
So
just blocking your path.
Yeah. Are
Let's
you-
not touch the journal because that is hyper haunted.
I'm taking the journal. It's a Horcrux. I know it.
First of
You
all,
cannot
stop.
get close to the bed because this musical ghost thing keeps blocking you.
Does it seem child height
Nope.
ish?
It
No.
is vaguely adult height. Its features are
Mhm.
completely indistinct.
Well, it's not.
Hmm.
Wait. Okay. Are there any rules against hitting the? Just hitting random vibrations.
Sorry, what?
I want to punch the vibrations. I want to feel the vibrations.
No, you don't.
No.
No, you
Feel it,
don't.
Feel it. Feel the
You actually don't
vibration.
really
Care-
want to do that.
Your character would be smarter. Plus the thing, and
I pu-
who are you?
hello there.
It does not speak. It just continues to sort of be that song.
It is vibing.
You Rithia.
It's just sort of chilling. As long as you don't try to approach the bed, it doesn't seem to move at all.
I sit down.
We want to lay her to rest.
Wait. there's-
Are you still
Okay.
like Shadow? Is Shadow still like close to the bed?
I'm still close, but like not trying to approach anymore.
Okay, yep, it's perfectly still between you and the bed.
I take
It can't
a
take all three of
slight
us at
step
once.
forward and
I
saying,
say
"We just
steps
want the family to rest."
It steps forward, raises its arms, and actually, on the bedside table, a small like painting begins to ripple, and one of those paint figures starts to climb out of it and also stands defensively in front of the bed.
Oh hey, are they gonna like fuse and become
There's-
a
Okay,
pink
there's two of
music
them.
golem?
There's like 5 of us. We can take them.
Will you stop trying?
You
How are you getting all
cannot
these fighting
engage in
things?
combat.
I'm
I
not
pull
trying
out.
to engage in combat. I'm just trying to like run at the bed so that way we can get to Rithia and quickly get her to rest.
I pull out a. I pull out the cutting of the plant I have.
Okay.
I have this.
The figures actually look at it.
Okay, wait. Okay, I pull out my song that I have in the same vein and put it next to what Jaden had.
Okay. You bring out that music sheet, and the musical figure moves towards it and reaches out to it and fades into it.
Did we just get a pet?
Huh.
That would be considered child slavery, and I'm not engaging in the human slave trade for now.
No. This is living sound. This is not a child. We have no
By the
evidence
way,
to support.
I just wanna. I realize I didn't mention it at the time, and I think I've made a mistake. The flower on the gravestone was in bloom. You just specifically said you took clippings of the leaves. So I forgot to mention that it was flowering.
I mean, I did try. I mean, you did mention that it was the same flower, so I assumed that. I was.
Would you have? You would have taken one of the flowers, right? Would you have?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You bring out one of the
Okay.
flowers, and that's the solution to this puzzle. And the paint thing takes it and fades into the ground.
I take the journal.
Okay. Rythia's arms crumble to dust, and her entire form disappears as you
that's
take
bad.
it.
What? The whole.
Oh,
Let's hope we don't breathe in girl.
Anyway, you now have Rythia's journal.
I open it and look inside.
All right. It's mostly just general, like, it's kind of hard to read in places because her handwriting wasn't super great. It's mostly just general teenager stuff. Mom and Dad are fighting
Just
again.
try to get it to skip to the end of
Okay,
it
fine.
where it's written.
Fine.
Well, I don't want to go through too much of her personal shit.
All right.
Still
all right.
her privacy.
You kind of flip towards the end. The last couple of entries are basically, yeah, you figured it out. Basically, she had been using this plant to calm her parents down. It's kind of, as I said, an herbal remedy. It kind of, she was drugging them to make them not fight.
Oh.
And she.
do these things? This is just opium. This is just an opium plant, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. She was drugging them to make them not fight. Which her older sister, that you never even met, whose body you dumped in her grave, knew
Yes!
about and disagreed with, but whatever, and warned her that she could overdo it. Rythia was like, I know what I'm doing, and in the last one she was like, Mom and Dad are having a really bad fight today, and the storm is giving me a headache. I think I'm going to make a particularly strong batch today, and then yeah.
Yikes!
Overdid it.
Imagine being crushed by a chandelier. Would not be me.
Oh, and the older sister would have been. The older sister wasn't
sister tried to. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you. There was a journal in her satchel. If you would have read it, it would have been. I know what happened. I know Rythia's secret. I have to put them to rest. And then she was tricked into standing under the chandelier by her own parents and died.
Wait, what? Why would they? You absolute pieces of. I hate them
They're
all. I
dead.
hate them all.
They don't-
Everyone
they're
in the-
dead.
Except
They don't
for,
have
except for the one who isn't a ghost.
Well, I'm gonna
Okay,
go show this to the
okay,
dad.
Yeah, wait, no. We're not showing this to the dad. We're showing this to the mom first.
No, I'm showing it to the dad. He's closer. It's my book now.
No,
Goodbye.
no.
Okay, and
Okay. Well,
was there other headstones back there, by the way?
nope, just hers.
No, just hers. Okay.
If you would have read the journal, you would have known that the older sister had gone through with the plan in the will, which was for her to be buried back there, and each of the parents to be made into a very macabre sort of, yeah, when I die, make me part of my art kind of thing.
I do not
That
like
is-
it.
I don't like. We're
Well,
undue.
To the father. No, it's what they wanted. I'm not gonna disturb that part of their rest.
I'm
Okay,
not
but like,
either.
why are we taking this to the mother first? We met the mother first.
Well, because the father's closer.
Oh, that's fair.
He's like right over there.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
You show
It
him
sucks
proof
that we can't just
Rythia
bring
did
the-
this,
yeah.
and he reads the journal, and he's real sad. and then he finally is like, "What have I done?" And yeah, he's
And
very
then we
sad.
dart over. We
And
dart
can't
over
fade away
to-
yet because the wife is still mad and they're holding each other there. So we
Yep,
need
and
to
then
go
you go
show.
over to the wife and you show her, and she does basically the same thing, and then they reconcile in the Great Hall, and it's extremely sad.
Very
And the
sad.
ghost of the sister would have risen out of the chandelier and forgiven them, but you dumped her body in Rythia's grave, so I don't know how to resolve
Yeah.
that. But anyway,
The way
Rythia
I'm
moved on a
sort of
century
wondering.
ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all happy, and they thank you, and they say you can have the house. Put the corpses in the attic, the like mannequin thing, and the drum, and yeah, just like take the older
No,
sister.
no, they're
corpse
going
out
in the
of things.
grave.
Yeah,
I was
fine,
gonna
whatever.
ask if it's okay
Just
if
put
we
'em to
bury
rest.
them next to their daughter.
Yeah, just put
We're
them
not
to rest
shoving
in the
them all in
garden.
the same one.
Yeah.
We're not throwing them all in the same one. That's rude.
Yup, sure.
know.
That
Yeah, no,
works. You got the
it's a
good
lot of-
ending. You didn't destroy them. You could have just lugged the mannequin and the drum out into the backyard and burned them. That also would have solved it, but that would have been a bad ending. You got the good ending. You found the secret Fairchild family treasure. They reveal it to you. It's buried in the garden also.
Oh, treasure?
I just don't want to like
wasn't even
roleplay it
expecting
out
treasure.
right now because you kind of ruined it.
Oh,
Oh,
Oh.
But yay, you did it.
We
Yeah.
actually solved one of your puzzles
we
faster
did.
than in a certain way than you
oh my
thought we would for once.
puzzle. Never forget the chess puzzle. Never forget the chess puzzle.
Oh,
You
I
did
did not
it.
like the chess puzzle.
God, you just.
Bring back the chess puzzle.
We skipped a few
Do not
things.
I had a whole, like. It's not that you
Sorry.
skipped anything, you just, like, ruined the roleplay and the immersion by constantly making fun of all the horror elements.
Mm,
I wasn't making fun of it. Hi.
Anyway.
You just
You
shouldn't have
did it.
described the drum with having a skin over it.
Yeah, it was supposed to be creepy.
Honestly, though,
Oh,
I
it
was
is.
freaked out by the gazebo.
I
Okay,
was
good.
I was just like
The gazebo
was
freaked you out? The
pretty-
mannequin freaked
was-
me out.
I thought I was teleported back
the
in
mannequin
time.
got me. The mannequin got me pretty good. But then, like, I was kind of used to it by the time that the drums happened.
Yeah, okay. I took it a little too far. Also,
Honestly, though-
there was another musical themed horror room like the Paint one that would have had a little bit more backstory about the older sister that would have hinted towards there being more there. But you just talked to them and figured it out on your own, so you didn't need that room and all. Well, great job. You solved my ghost puzzle.
Yes.
I wasn't expect. So what's the treasure then?
It's
you
just
said?
gold. It's
Gold?
like a couple
Okay.
thousand gold. That's going to mostly go into fixing up the place.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
Well,
Honestly, I'm
going
still
to
confused
go
about the
and I'm
gazebo.
going to
It was a
piano
memory.
into my room.
I know it's a memory. I just
Of
want to
the
know
older
how it
sister.
happened.
The gazebo was the older sister's memory. She was like reaching out to you to try to show you what happened.
Oh.
But yeah.
So, I'm going to immediately start upstairs, and I'm going to try to lift the piano and get it down into my room that I've already designated.
You're gonna break the piano. That's gonna take multiple people.
No, I'm not.
It's already broken.
It's gonna be more
Yeah, it's
broken.
already.
I take the mini piano.
Alright, yeah. So there's the two larger rooms that are like the music room and the art studio are like the big multi-purpose rooms. Then there's the gallery and the on the other side there was also a like entertaining room, a parlor, which you didn't go into at all.
Mm.
which had like what's it called? Um, like you spin the thing and it makes music. Calliope, I think. I don't remember what I'm thinking of, but it's like this big metal thing that makes music when you spin the crank. Anyway, that would have had more like spooky musical things in it. And then there are 4 bedrooms. Yeah.
Hmm.
So there's the Great Hall, the parlor, the basement, which has a few segments, but it's flooded. Speaking of which, it is
By the
still
way,
flooded
is the
after.
water
Yeah, no,
still flooding?
still flooded.
Okay, so that is
Um,
natural. Completely natural flooding, not ghost enforcing the flooding that's already been there.
Yep. There is the kitchen with the pantry and the very nice stove. And then, yeah,
There's a gazebo.
yep, a gazebo, and you could clean up the gardens. And then there's also the front yard, which is also overgrown, got a couple fir trees in it, but would make a nice, like, training grounds.
Neat.
Alright.
Hmm.
That's all I have
Okay.
planned for today.
Okay.
Okay.
Talk about
Okay.
like what rooms and stuff, I guess, for next time through Discord and shit. Not gonna lie, I'm somewhat leaning towards turning the gazebo into like a little mini house or something.
It's not like a full
Or I mean, not house, but like
building.
room
You
for
could
my.
just build a shed. Speaking
this-
of
I could
which,
just build a shed
the garden,
too. Yeah.
the treasure is under where the garden shed was. The ruins of it are buried under a bunch of plants. You would have had to succeed on a really good investigation check to find it, but you didn't, because you didn't really look for it that hard, because you only needed the shovel. Anyway,
Okay, so I think I'm gonna set up my room in the room with all like the paintings of the city and stuff because I think that's really cool.
I'm
the
giving
gallery?
first.
Yeah, I want the gallery.
all right. It's not really
I'm
designed to
also
be a
want-
bedroom, but you could definitely make it so.
Sort of giving first picks to the people who founded the thing, the Adventurers Guild. Because makes
Too late.
sense.
Yeah.
Too late. I already have my blankets on the floor.
Oh, I'm fine. I'll just take one of the 4 bedrooms, whichever one you don't pick.
Oh, I do have a. Is there like
Actually,
is there one? Oh.
I'm going to take the attic. I meant, Fergana is going to take one of the 4 bedrooms.
Is there one of the do any of like the bedrooms have like a are any of the bedrooms on the second floor, do any of them have a window?
Yeah, they all have a window. The one in the paint room was just covered by paint. Once you clean them out, they're perfectly normal bedrooms. They were just covered in. One had a bunch of broken instruments in them that would have, come alive and started playing and psychic damage. And then the paint golems and everything, but you never got
I'm
to
gonna
any of that.
take the one that would have had the instruments.
Okay.
So
I can kind of hold on. I can sketch out like.
Okay.
Let me give you a new page. Okay, I can kind of sketch out what it would look like. So, the Great Hall would have been like this big if each square is about 10 feet-ish. And then, hold on, I have to move some stuff around. That would have been the size of the kitchen-ish. And then that's the parlor. That's the, or no. So that's the lower east wing. The parlor would have been like here, gallery here, staircase, staircase. garden, front yard. And then this was the first floor. Second floor was the staircase went over to a central kind of thing, and then music room, art studio, bedroom, 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 and then attic. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, I'd like one
Yeah.
of the bedrooms on the backside overlooking the garden.
Okay.
Shadow's gonna upkeep the garden.
Oh, okay. I want to take the. Okay, so I kind of want to do something cool where I want to take the gallery, but I want the piano in the gallery to like represent the reunification of the family because I'm a soppy sap like that.
Okay. Also, the gazebo's about yay big. Like, it's a pretty big gazebo.
Nice.
Looks like it was for garden parties and stuff. Rythia's grave is like over in the corner here.
For aesthetics, I think the vines on the outside still would look nice.
Okay.
Just clean them up a little bit.
Yeah, make
So
it
it's
more
not like
organized.
wild, more tamed.
Yeah.
But still draping down. Well, draping up.
Maybe clean off
I take
the
it
big
there.
old scorch mark that was left on
Yeah,
the...
clean off the scorch mark.
By the way, once you go in the gazebo now, after the ghosts are gone, it's just a blank white ceiling.
Oh. Cool. Weird, but cool.
Yeah. That's my first adventure for you guys. What do you think?
Neat.
I really enjoyed it.
I liked it, yeah.
I'll
Lost a little bit of steam at the end, but oh well.
It happened.
Yeah.
This is Shadow's room. Overlooking the gazebo in the garden. Ooh. Same time next week.
Alright, yeah, same time next week. Sounds good.
All right.
See you guys
See
then.
you guys around.
See ya.
Yep.